welcome everybody. My name is Mads, or J.K. Madigan as far as my socials are concerned, and I am your host for tonight, episode 8, where we are playing Overarms. I am super excited about this. I have not... I bought it on the Kickstarter, or I pre-ordered it just after the Kickstarter, because I think I missed it by a little bit. But I have been waiting to play this game for months now, and after last week's anime-inspired Giant Mech v Kaiju episode, I couldn't help but throw down for some Persona-inspired madness. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go around. We'll introduce the cast. Tell us, yourself, a little bit about your character, and then we're just going to get straight into it. Oh, and tell me what you're drinking. I need to know. Today I am going for Underground, which is a local Utah herbal spirit. I think I used on episode 1, but I'm rounding back to the originals. But we'll start up in the top right with Turk.
Hello everyone, I am Turk. Today I will be playing Daiki Hirige, who is of course the social butterfly and kind of not de facto leader, but kind of de facto leader because no one else really wants to be, and everyone kind of just likes him. Not that he would tell you that, but he might. He's your typical all smiles, no brain kind of boy. And he just wants to keep everyone safe and do awesome shit with his friends. And on today, I am drinking some Svedka with apricot juice and a little bit of seltzer, and it's very good. I'm gonna throw it over to, I guess, leftward to Hyacinth.
Yeah, go for it.
Hi guys, I'm Hyacinth. I am playing Jordan Joseph, our jock, our quiet jock character. So he's all brawn, no brains. So far we're not starting out very strong with that aspect, but he is gonna be pretty quiet, but he is kind of. We'll learn more about him. We'll figure it out. And today I have my typical rosé. You can almost always find me with a glass. There we go.
Perfect. Ashen.
Hi, that's me. I'm Ash, or I go by Ashen Rabbit here on Twitch and over on Twitter. Today I am playing Risako Kimura, who is like class president, super book nerd kind of gal. She's fairly quiet, tends to keep to herself unless people really need something. She always tries to make herself available to those that need help with anything. But yeah, kind of also on the quiet side. Here to help balance that in the dynamic.
Perfect.
All right, guess that makes me capable of rounding it out. What's going on, folks? It's Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, aka your favorite fox. Here, and today I'll be playing Daisuke Kamiya. He is a 5th-year senior and a bit of a delinquent. Not a big fan of class or rules or authority, and spent a lot of his time away from school doing odd jobs or other work to pay for his ill sister's health. Doesn't really have a lot of friends, save the other miscreants who hang out with him every now and then. Most people in school are kind of scared of him. But he does hang out with these goofballs every now and then, just, for reasons.
Good.
And tonight I am drinking some Hornitos Lime Shot Tequila with some ginger ale in it, because, that's how we roll tonight.
Hell yeah.
I forgot. I've got water.
Woo!
Yeah, water.
Woo!
Staying hydrated.
I'm sorry. As a real gym bro, I'm only drinking water and protein shakes.
Only ever drinking water, by the way.
Yeah.
Water or protein shake. There's no other options.
Give me just one moment. I didn't make a note of a particular character's name that we might start with, so I gotta write that down. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, we are playing Overarms. None of us here have played Overarms. We've all read a little bit on it, but this is, for anybody new and returning, or new, and for those returning, if you need a refresher, the top shelf, the whole purpose of it is we're going to have a chat about this game afterwards from the perspective of folks who have never played, and kind of dissect it and see how it works. It's going to be good. Let's see. So, we begin with these high schoolers who have maintained a presence as anima users in the Mirage, an alternate dimension, sub-reality, adjacent to our own that occasionally bleeds into the material realm in such a way that it gets dangerous. A lot of problems can be caused from the mirage starting to glitch through. And these guys finally have a reprieve. It's spring break. They're away from their high school of Open Glen, and they are heading to Port Desireen, a small coastal town, beautiful beaches. Think like the warm northern side of kind of California coastline.
Yours?
But real pretty area. New beach, new town. Most of the high schools all here to party as well. A great time. That is, until your fellow student body and local townsfolk begin mysteriously falling fatally ill without cause or connection. Extreme fatigue, pale skin, blood running from the tear ducts, rapid decay and loss of teeth, all in the span of about 36 hours before we've had 4 casualties so far between the town and the members of your high school. We're about 3 days into spring break at this point. The CDC, or what local division of it, had jumped on this and cannot find any information about it in private investigation and digging into it. The cops are stumped trying to maintain some kind of order, but the news is all over it, and people are worried. The trouble is, y'all can't leave because Port Desireen is now locked down under quarantine. And to make matters worse, you 4, as anime users, have started to notice little visual glitches in the material visuals of Port Desireen. Cue signs to you, all fairly experienced in finding these gateways to the Mirage to put down the threats that would otherwise threaten our realm. That something else is going on here that's a little bit deeper than perhaps anybody else realizes. Nobody else is the wiser, but people are still getting sick, and y'all have got to figure out what's going on. So we will begin this at the place that y'all have chosen to meet up, which is an alleyway outside one of the local arcade shops where you can kind of find some privacy away from prying eyes and have some conversations. Feel free to go through that, discuss as you like, or ask me any questions about anything you might have already investigated. We are kind of already in the thick of it, so.
Well, if we're meeting in an alleyway, it doesn't seem too awkward to assume that Daisuke would probably be there close to first. Just, this kind of away from people location or locale isn't exactly his kind of thing. So I imagine the rest will probably arrive to find him either pulling a cig or just minding his business, kind of sitting around, just about time you got here.
Oh, so you show up on time for an alleyway, but not for classes. Great.
Class is boring. Alleyways aren't. Questions?
Well, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, that's good.
All right, then. We missing anybody?
Oh, yeah, what's up? Sorry, late. Hi. Woo. Oh, sorry. There was really good waves out there. Morning, sir. Sorry. Yeah, no, you called the meeting and I did my phone on me. What's up, Suke? Yo, Jojo. How's it going?
Hi, Key. How are you?
Just
I'm good.
Ever the
quiet.
ray of sunshine on my eternally bleak existence.
Oh, so nice. Speaking of you being nice to people, where's Suke?
Now that I'm thinking about it, where is Risako? She's usually not late for anything.
You'll see Risako walking down the street towards the alleyway, but she's got a book in her hands, just walking super slowly.
Yeah, that would explain it.
I'm here. Sorry, I was doing a little bit of research over the library.
You should start lifting. It's kind of hard to walk slow while you're pumping.
All right, musclehead, focus on the gym later. We have more important things to worry about.
Yeah. Why is everyone getting sick?
Well, you can't let it interrupt your routine. Can't let everything go crazy.
Right. So, of course. So we're just gonna make sure we can fix this, and then you've all seen what's going on, right? I assume that's why we got the text.
People getting sick. A couple of them dead. Weird shit, huh?
It's not good.
Yeah, and the you know the thing where the mirage comes out a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed a couple things weirdly when hanging out. Signs out of place, a couple other visual glitches. Sounds like we got a mirage leak.
Yeah, we kind of need to step in as soon as possible before it gets too bad.
Do we have to? I kind of had a gig later.
Yeah, of course. What? Gig?
Probably sooner rather than later, yeah.
What are
It's
you
been cutting
doing?
my
You have a
paycheck, dude.
job?
Whatever.
You got a
Wait,
job?
gig doesn't sound like job.
Listen,
Gig sounds like a job.
it sounds like you're asking a lot of questions you shouldn't be asking. The point is, I do things and I get money for it.
I'm a little suspicious of that.
You know, that sounded a little bit
It doesn't
sketchier
have
than
to
it
be.
started with,
Are
you
you
know.
selling your body?
I'm sorry, do any of you have a sick sister to take care of?
We're not here to judge. We're just here if you need support.
This sounds judgy.
An individual who is walking down the street at the yelling kind of leans down and looks down the alleyway. And you guys are kind of tucked a little ways in, but you can hear kind of a shout down the alleyway. Is there somebody back there? You okay?
Buzz off!
We're fine, thank you.
I immediately
Sorry.
turn like, I don't know him.
We're just talking. It's fine. Not like bad talking either, just like regular talking.
Please shut up, Key. You're ruining it.
There's some silence, and then you can just kind of hear the click of the footsteps against the sidewalk as it kind of fades off.
See, it's
Anyway,
fine.
more importantly,
I think we almost made it worse.
I mean, do you
have
know?
we ever not made something worse?
Well, let's hope for everyone's sake that we don't.
That's the answer I like. Right then, so let's focus in if we can. People
So-
are getting sick. We have no idea why. I say that it's probably a mirage leak. So where do we start looking for clues, or whatever else it is we look for?
So there are a couple places that you guys would be familiar with at this point. There is the, I guess, community physicians. It's not a big town, but there is a doctor's office here that you could go speak to. There are a couple people inpatiented and kind of makeshift right now. There is, and you only know of him because of gossip and rumors and things, because people have made jokes in his expense. But the like the town old folk, basically, just the old guy who's always on the beach that you all have seen kind of make jokes at and stuff. Somebody had mentioned 2 days ago that he started getting real stressed out when all of this started happening. But you don't know much more than that, and you haven't seen him on the beach since. And
Somehow talking to the old man sounds like the least social interaction possible out of these three things. So I think I'm gonna do that.
you've also got the police station, as well as any of your teachers who might be here as well. The one who's typically
Maybe
most
be a cop or a
helpful.
teacher.
Yeah, well, the one who's usually most helpful to you, specifically, and you four would know him. I don't know how much you might have explained to him, but his name is Mr. Bod, and he is one of the younger teachers in the school. But the longer he was in Open Glen, the more he started to get a little suspicious or do his own digging into the fact that weird stuff goes on. So he's kind of always got his hairs on edge. He might have heard something, but those are kind of your main points right now.
I gotta be honest, it's break. I'm not really fond of talking to teachers.
Yeah, for once the musclehead's got something right.
I don't think any of you are really interested in talking to anyone usually. I'll go talk to Mr. Bod.
I mean, it doesn't seem like an awful thing to do, but maybe we could talk to teachers.
Teachers aren't so bad. They're just there to help you. I don't understand the aversion to them. They're there to provide you with an education.
No, like, I respect them and all, but like, it's our one break from them,
Teachers are good for about one thing, and it's bedtime stories.
Well, they do teach us a lot, so maybe they can teach
that's
us
just English
about
class.
this problem.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I get it.
If we're talking to teachers, then let's do it.
All right. So you want to split up or?
Nah,
stay
we
together?
might as well stick together for now. If anything's going weird around here, it's better, and none of us gets ambushed or anything. Let's stick together for now.
We can't all be seen together in school. That would look suspicious, right?
Aren't we literally always seen together all the time?
No.
Not all the time.
That's fair.
I mean, like when we meet up, but like not in school.
You're in
Well, like one,
recess,
you don't go to
sure, but,
school
like-
too. I kind of don't.
That's fair. I don't know. I mean, to be fair though, we also aren't at school right
Isn't
now.
this like kind of like secret,
Yeah, but we're not at school right now. We're on break, so it's not like we'd be walking up to them in school. We'd just be finding a teacher on break.
It's
We can
true.
frame it like we're asking for something about, I don't know. Maybe you.
But wait, but isn't it weird if we show up at Mr. Bod's house?
No, so you are not even in the same place that your high school is.
Yeah, we're at
You
a
guys are
different
on
place. We're in a
vacation.
different city.
The only people
is-
you
this is
actually
spring break.
have, close contact with, or would even have names of, would be fellow students, or the few faculty that came with for the
Okay.
spring break trip. But everything else, this is all foreign territory to you.
Well, we don't know anyone here save the old guy on the beach who we haven't seen in 2 days. Our teachers are our best bet, so I guess we're going to Bowd. He's gonna ask me to do homework, isn't he?
No,
Probably not.
I
sure
think he
hope
wants a
not.
break too. It's okay.
What kind of
Alright.
teacher is Mr. Bod?
Young.
Mr. Bod is actually a biology teacher by trade. He
That
studied.
sounds helpful.
He studied more into different genetic things, but when he was going to university, and he talks about that frequently. But right now he does biology, and kind of settled for it. So he's more interested in other stuff.
So
Alright, well-
not to get too like thinky here, you know, but like I'll just say this as we're walking. So, you know, this like disease like thing happened, you know, and like we see glitches, so we assume it's mirage. But what if it's like both? Like, what if it's like, you know, someone here is using the mirage, or like, do we think it's just like the mirage leaking, or?
Daisuke just like stops walking and turns over to George and goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! You're thinking?"
Hey.
Oh, sorry. Let me just. I mean,
Oi, oi, oi. Be nice. Come on.
I
Asked a good question. Yeah, I mean, someone could use the mirage. Sure, it could.
No,
be
I
some
agree. It's a
asshole.
really good thought. That's what's concerning me.
Wait, let me roll a d4. Yeah, I did have this thought.
Well?
I was thinking of it because, you know, connections can, like, you know, those weird coincidence things that just, like, you know, too good to be true.
Mhm.
Mr. Bot is like biology, and this is like disease, which is biology, right?
So he'll know, and then we can ask him about it. If he gets suspicious, then we know he's using it.
Fair enough.
Bod's been solid in the past. I don't know why we gotta be suspicious of him now.
No, I'm not like suspicious, but like you could have answers or just like, you know, good choice, right?
I mean,
Okay.
I also, not to risk blowing the kilter on anything, but Bod's been looking after us for a fair bit and knows we all tend to creep around doing weird shit around school. Maybe it's time we just tell him.
Think about it. I mean, like, I don't see what the big deal is, but also,
I mean-
like, it's not something you want to, like, just blow the lid off of on someone. Like, hey, the mirage exists and it influences our world. Like,
I mean, I would say there's never a better time than a random pandemic causing people to die for seemingly no reason.
well, let's just see what he's got to say.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would
Do it.
much rather lead with, hey, we're working on an extra credit project about this to turn into our literature teacher. How about we try and get some information based on that?
Ah, look at that.
Hell
Good
yeah,
plan.
and
Yes,
opening up
Lisa.
can be kind of hard.
For
Hell, yeah, Lisa.
the sake of
Alright.
narrative, I take it this conversation is happening while y'all are walking.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
walking
Yeah.
back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, small town. The whole student body who did choose to come is in the same kind of like strip motel, the one with like the 2 stories and it's kind of sitting in a U shape.
Mhm.
Just the whole student body that did choose to come on this trip, who could afford it or what have you, and then a couple faculty are all there. So you actually know Mr. Bod's room number. It's not hard. If he is there, he would be there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Alright.
kind of awkwardly put up my like workout hoodie, like my hood up, so like, you know, like I'm with them, but I'm not really with them, but like.
I'm
Yeah,
just
Jake.
kind of hands in my pockets walking along, like looking up at this guy almost, just like, whatever.
Daiki's just gonna walk right up to the door and just like,
Easy
Hello?
enough. Yeah, small hotel
Yeah,
room,
pretty much subtlety,
big
huh?
knock. It takes almost no time at all before the door opens. Full swing. He opens the door and looks at the 4 of you, and he goes, "What's it? Did you need anything?"
Yo!
yeah, hey, we're wondering, we were writing something for literature.
It's a group project.
Yeah, and
Group project.
wonder if you were like looking into the disease, you know?
I admit I've been curious myself. I did a little bit of snooping at the the doctor's office, but they wouldn't give me much.
Were they being like stonewall on you, or?
No, but the sake of patient-doctor confidentiality meant I couldn't really get into records without, sneaking in and taking things, which I'm not about.
And you totally didn't do that, right? Wait.
No, of course not.
Okay, cool.
What did you get?
Daisuke, like, while you guys are talking, he's kind of like looked away. He's pulled out his phone and has sent a text to our group chat, just like, we could do that stealing thing he's just talking about.
It's wrong, but you should probably do it. Yeah. Hey, sorry. Yeah. So what did you get though while you were looking into it?
Well, if you what class are you working on this for? Seems an odd paper to write, especially in the middle of spring break.
They said to choose an interesting topic, and this seemed very modern and present.
Yeah, they want
so
to write. They want us to write an
interesting.
article. It's like a newspaper, like part of literature.
Understood. Current events.
Yeah.
Part of
Yeah.
the
Experiences.
of the year.
I got roped into it too.
Yeah.
Making history.
Understood. Well, group project, if you must know, the only thing that I was able to get out of them really, apart from what we already know, which is approximated death within about 36 hours and nobody can figure out how it's transmitted, is that it seems to be, or at least as far as the CDC is concerned, it seems to all be affiliated with a particular sandwich shop down the way. Or at least, if not a particular sandwich shop, all of these individuals were in or around a sandwich shop at the same time. It's a stretch. They really have very little good to go off of, and it was all consequential evidence. But that's the only lead right now that officials looking into it have. So they asked me to avoid it. But as far as patient symptoms and things themselves, they wouldn't tell me a thing.
I'm just gonna look across the group. Did we have sandwiches? What did we eat yesterday?
I don't eat with you guys.
Dude, I haven't been eating anything. Pure liquid diet.
We haven't had sandwiches yet. It's okay. Do they think that it's an airborne thing from the area that people were infected, or maybe it's in the water supply?
I couldn't say. That's the hard part. I would assume, being a biologist, that if it was a water supply thing, it would have affected more of the town. Unless they have an independent supply source from the sandwich shop, but that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Mind if I ask you a purely innocent question? Mind if I ask you a purely innocent question?
Me?
Yeah,
Sure.
that'd be you.
Sure.
So you said that the only way to get the information you were looking for, that besides what you could find, would be to snoop around and steal something from there. Not saying you should do that or anything, but
No, I would never. It's disastrously illegal to attempt something like that within confidential patient records.
naturally. But where was the first place you'd think to look for him if you were gonna go?
Well, Why do you ask?
Curiosity?
That seems...
Can't just have a conversation? You hardly see me in
Filling
school.
out-
First time I come talk to you, you try to warn me off? The hell, Doc?
We have to create a list of hypotheticals in this paper. So
What she said.
Give me a charisma check,
Oh, I'm really bad at that.
and we're gonna make
no.
the target number for that 5.
Okay, here we go. What's my charisma score? It's a D8. I gotta roll one of those.
At least it's not a D4.
that's
Yeah.
me. Can't do that.
6.
Very nice. So he looks at you, and you guys have all kind of gotten to this place where Mr. God is curious, or Mr. Bod is curious enough about all of these things.
Mr. God.
God.
Enough that
Computer
he's
level.
fairly gullible if can be coaxed into it, and he looks at you for a second.
Yeah, like
and
that guy has like the most fake innocent grin on, just like
right. He goes, it is an interesting thought experiment to kind of take that thing into your own hands. I suppose the first place I would look would be past the series of main offices. Usually there's a clerical room with all of the physical file folders and things. They didn't seem to be up to date enough to have everything digital. There'll be paperwork still.
all right.
Damn,
Okay,
they're
so-
old.
While we're on the
Doc,
topic, Doc, we were talking about the water and so
Right.
food transfer that's E. coli, right?
Yeah.
Can't you isn't that normal to get sick off food? Well, like in some places, like not like normal,
You
but
don't
like
bleed out of your eyes with E. coli.
No,
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
that is a new symptom to anything that I've ever personally seen, and it is macabre to say the least. I've never seen a disease that had a sense of humor, but that is rough.
what if it's just like a new kind of meat that like humans weren't like meant to eat?
Yo, like ostrich?
I think people eat ostrich, don't they?
In all,
Writing this down for hypotheticals, of course.
Why would you eat an
I
ostrich?
appreciate you all speculating. I really don't suppose that a town this small would be selling exotic game that no humans ever consumed before. But, you know, maybe you could look into it for the sake of your paper.
Maybe like moldy roadkill or something.
Like Daisuke just kind of grabs Jordan, just goes, you know, Doc, that's a great idea. We're gonna do some looking in this and see if we can do something on our own. Thank you so much for your time. We will catch you later. Bye now.
We're gonna have to cite you on the report, just so you know.
Yeah, no, don't
That's
worry.
fine.
I got it.
And so yeah, so as Daisuke kind of pulls Jordan away, just goes, all right, so we got 2 spots now: sandwich shop and the clinic. I'm not saying we have to go steal this thing, but we should go steal that thing.
Do you like how I like threw him off a little bit? So like hopefully he forgets that we asked him about the more sensitive stuff.
Yes, perfectly well played. Thank you.
Oh, I see. That's
So-
very clever, Jordan.
Now
I-
can we split up and look for clues?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. I got this, right?
Okay.
We send the dice squad out, get that hospital record, and then we get Jojo and Risa. They go check out the sandwich shop.
Well,
Okay.
what if we send Risa and Daisuke because like they're a little bit like sneaky? I'm not really.
I will say one of us is very much keenly better at getting around things unseen.
Right. The dice squad. I can like chat up the nurse right at the front desk.
Yeah, but
That'd be cool.
isn't Risako good at the sneaky thing too?
I mean, I can kind of blend in a little, but
Like she's pretty quiet. Do you ever like just know she's there?
Of course I know she's there.
He-
Well, like
go
I
with
know
Jordan,
she's there,
keep
but
him
like
from
I think she
breaking
could do it well. Never mind.
I know
Key,
what you
go
mean.
with Jordan. Keep him from breaking anything. I'll see you soon, okay?
So, which of the two of you leave first?
Yeah, after recommending that, Dai will kind of just be like, all right, whatever we're doing, and kind of just like start like slowly walking away.
Okay.
Gonna follow him, I guess.
So in narrative, and I'm only going to put 2 of you in front of this option, whoever did not go with you, the 2 that were, I guess, secondary to your first call, who would have left second, yeah, whatever. There's a scream from one of the hotel rooms,
Oh,
and
joy.
2 of the third-year classmates, both girls, kind of run out of the room, and they're freaking out. One of them is they're pale as a ghost right now.
I am running up there
Um,
immediately.
Okay, so you go up to them, and both of them are just in like hysterics and like, what is happening? He's dead, and he wasn't even showing symptoms before,
Thanks.
and we were trying to just stay around in the hotel rooms, and she starts sobbing, and the other person looks back and like takes a look at things, and kind of, into the hotel room, and she hasn't said anything up to this point, and she turns over the railing on this second floor that they're on and just vomits over the edge,
Oh, no.
boy.
just out of shock and kind of horror.
I'll try and comfort her a little bit, but at the same time, like, turn my head towards the room and try and look inside and see what I see.
So wait, I'm with you, right?
Yeah,
That's what we decided. Okay. I'll be like, oh, come here, and I'll just like gentle giant hug.
Okay. So, in the room is a fellow 5th year. She is kind of crumpled to the floor next to one of the beds, and pallid skin, gray, kind of sallowed. At a distance, if you didn't recognize the clothing of the uniform, she almost looks old. Like
Are they
she just
aged
got,
too?
yeah, like she got like raisined, but the same kind of rest of the symptoms, like the blood running from the eyes, yeah, very pallid skin, bloodshot. Like everything makes sense to what you've heard so far, but you've never seen one up close.
So, without even, thinking about the sensitivity stuff, sorry, I'm just gonna be like, oh, so did it just like all happen at once then? You said that she wasn't showing symptoms.
The person who threw up over the banister, and she can kind of right herself, she looks at you and she goes, well, I mean, I don't know. We didn't notice anything. I feel like we would have seen something. We were all in that room since the first bit of illness showed up. She was particularly avoidant of illness in general. She didn't want a black mark on her attendance, so she tried to keep pretty clean. We pretty much holed up in there. We hadn't been in contact with anybody.
Let's get you guys downstairs and like go grab a teacher or something, because this is pretty serious, right? But don't look in. But her eyes are doing the blood thing, so that's why I asked. It was weird.
Go get Mr. Bod.
Oh yeah, I'll go get Mr. Bod.
Okay. So you run over and get Mr. Bod, and he throws on his cardigan that he's usually got on and kind of flies out the door, goes up to the rooms and immediately starts to try to calm the girls down, treat for shock a little bit, and have this conversation. And then turns to the two of you and goes, serendipitous timing that you were asking about this sort of thing. I would advise you not getting close to the corpse if we have no idea how this was transmitted and things are evolving. It's not going to do you any good to be anywhere around. Mind you, and you can see in his face that all of a sudden the realization comes up that he's like comforting these two girls, and so were you, that he's like, not that it would fucking matter at this point because you guys were just like hugging and being in close proximity, but he doesn't say anything to try to kind of avoid the panic of the two girls being like, oh, maybe I'm infected. So there's this kind of weird silent exchange for a sec before he continues, and he goes, well, you really, if you were still intent on conversing about this, I don't know if your friends left to the clinic or if you were heading to the clinic or what have you, but give somebody a call, make sure that people are here.
I think they're definitely not going to the clinic.
Job well done.
I'll still call authorities and
oh yeah, we could go to the police. Maybe. Is that what we do now?
Maybe.
Sorry, I'm not used to this stuff kind of coming up.
It's okay. Yeah, I will. I don't know. I'll call emergency services and see if someone can come here.
Okay. It does not take anybody long to get an ambulance out here, as well as basically a truck for the CDC present as well to try to investigate and things. Are you dipping before they get here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get tied down.
Yes. So I need, in that case, let's see here. Yeah, let's get a dex.
Okay.
Let's get a dex check from both of you. Let's make this one, because of response time, we'll make this one a target 5 as well.
Okay.
7.
I got a 9.
Very good. Yeah, so it does take you guys very much effort to, kind of swing out and around and vanish into the crowd of the rest of
Today was leg
Port
day.
Desiree.
God damn it.
Bastards. I love it. Okay. So, Daiki and pronounce your name one more
Die
time for me.
Squad, you mean?
The Die Squad.
Die
The Di-
Squad.
I'm gonna call you that from now on, because then I don't have
The
to try
Ds.
to like fuck up both of your names.
The
right
Die
D.
Squad?
Yep.
Wait, can I do one thing before we switch back to them?
You mean?
Can I do one thing before we switch back to them? I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be like, Risako, did I kind of mess up his plan by like offering another plan? Like, he's kind of in charge. Did I not do that? Like, was it bad? Was it a bad idea?
No, you're okay. You're okay. I mean, given the circumstances, we kind of had to do something, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, that's it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. The Die Squad. Where y'all
D&D,
heading? What are
yes.
you doing?
Daisuke's kind of just like making his way towards the clinic, like hands in his pockets. Eventually, he kind of just like looks back to see who followed him and realizes it was Daiki. And it's just like, all right.
Yeah, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have. You know, fucking man.
You got it,
Jesus.
bro.
D&D. Come on, man.
I'm glad you're here, Key. Let's get this
D&D.
done, all right?
Hell yeah. D Squad. Dice Squad.
I guess we'll your plan better than anything else. You just start chatting up whatever nurse you can, and I'll see if I can't make my
Try
way
and
around
fucking
this thing.
stop me, dude.
Have fun, bud. I'll meet you out back if anything goes wrong. And as they approach the clinic, and you know, we'll kind of wait till we'll get somewhere where like we're not being seen. I am going to use one of my anima abilities, and so you'll sort of you'll see Daisuke kind of breathe out a very, very thick kind of like smoky mist that kind of like fills the area he's kind of contained in. And then once that's gone, there is no more trace of where I am.
Okay, so
yeah.
Let me just double check here.
It is 2 AP to use my second ability, I hear.
Yep, so it's 2 AP for that.
I'll burn it, no problem.
Okay, perfect. So, you have just vanished. Nobody in the area, at least that you haven't come across anybody that would strike you as an anime user in the area, so you're pretty certain that even folks who might have passed by would have just not paid any attention to that. And the brief glimpse of your anima made no difference to anybody, as you are all just in a puff of smoke gone.
All right, I'm walking in there and just kind of like leaning right on the desk. Hey.
As you're moving, you do hear a vague whisper just go, "Don't say anything stupid, please," and like disappear down the hallway.
No promises.
Okay, so the individual has their back to you as you walk in, kind of filing through some smaller filing cabinets. Very lean, dark brown hair with like a single streak of blonde through it in a tight ponytail in the back. Little salt worn from beach days, and he turns around to you, same kind of blonde streaks in his beard, and he goes, "Sup, bruh? Can I help you with?"
Sup, man? Look, I'm just really worried. I got some friends here. They're like super sick with all this, and I just like really want to check up on them and like make sure they're okay.
Dude, I feel that. Like, I don't fuck with any of it, but I can't let anybody back. Sorry.
Oh, dude, we're like tight though. We're like basically family. Like they raised me, man. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. I had a grandma came in here to say hi to her grandson. Wouldn't even let her through. Family's also a no-go.
Oh, shit, man, you serious? What if I like throw in a mask and like all the Hazzy suits, like?
There's like the smallest light bulb that goes off in his head. It's like, nobody's ever asked me if they could use a Haz suit. Go ahead and give me a charisma roll.
Hell yeah.
This will be a little bit harder. We're looking at a. I'm gonna make this doable. So, what is your die for your?
It's a D12.
Okay, which works. I thought it was the high one. We're gonna make that target a 10.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
That is a 9.
Oh,
shoot.
Tragic.
Crap.
So close.
I'll grant that a partial success. And he looks at you and he goes, "You know, I never had anybody real check into that, but I let me go ask. I gotta go get some more Joe. Anyway, so you stay right here.
All right, I'll stay right here. I got friend JoJo. He's sick, dude.
Dude, your butt's named after coffee?
I don't know, maybe. Like, dude,
Oh,
I should
God.
ask him. I should
Take it
ask
down.
him next time.
Looks at you, just gives you one of these, and kind of walks back down the hallway. You are, for the moment, alone in the waiting room. It's a small clinic. You probably don't have long, but if you're going to make a call, you have an opportunity.
Right, can I,
Still
Yeah,
whispering in the side of his ear, Daisuke will just say, "I'm going for the files, all right? Don't do anything stupid."
Yeah, of
And he'll
course,
just kind of
man.
like walk down the hallway. And
Okay.
I'm gonna just like make my way, while still invisible, down the hallway, looking for like a room that would indicate there's probably some fileage in there.
Okay. All right, so you pass a number of doors that actually have placards of different doctors and clinicians and things before you reach like a janitorial closet. And at the very end of the hallway, there are the bathrooms and then the record room.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go right for the record room. Honestly, it sounds like probably the place I wanna be going for.
Yeah, it's a good place to check if it wasn't locked.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Well,
You have
guess
anima power
I'll-
open door.
I will look back and then see if no one's around me. And assuming it's not, I guess the first thing I'll try to do is just see if I can like. Is it just like the door itself is locked, like lock on the handle?
Yeah,
Like
lock on the handle.
Ah, okay. Well, so much for my breaking the lock plan. Instead, I'll go with the second plan. Guess it's time to use my first anima ability, huh?
Okay. Throw down.
So yeah, without it being seen, because my anima is a little bit more shy than most, I kind of just like angle my hand and the finger gun up against like under the doorknob and just kind of go, and like as I click my finger, a very small, like quarter-sized hole is blasted straight through both the doorknob and probably the ceiling right above.
Yeah, the back of the wall as the
Yeah, just
trajectory
like-
continues to move forward.
Yeah,
and this
although- yeah.
this kind of shyer anima that you have as you go and do that, if anybody were to be able to see, you can almost see the anima in full form behind you kind of lean down and mimic his hand just underneath yours as you do, and the trigger pull actually comes from his arm and just carves a clean hole, dematerializes all that lock. And you see the remaining piece of like the bolt that was in the door kind of slide through the hole and fall out, and the door swings open.
All right, that could have gone worse. Records room. What do we got in here?
Okay. While you are rifling through the records room, Daiki, the individual who had passed you and then Daisuke passed him, comes back into the room and he looks at you and he goes, "Dude, I'm sorry. I asked like everybody. I didn't even know we don't have one of those here. CDC gets all of the hazy suits. We just got masks and lab coats, which they don't give out unless you're a doctor."
Oh, okay. Wait, like, I got a biology teacher. Like, I'm mad into biology.
Super.
Think I could like? That's like on the road to doctorate.
Is it?
I mean, like maybe if I wanted. I don't know. I gotta talk to my parents. Like they say like doctor or lawyer. Like gotta fit in one of those.
That's true,
So
dude. I heard lawyers. I mean, they make some mad money. Why be a
Dude,
doctor
fat-
when
fat
you,
stacks.
and nobody throws up on you?
That's true. Oh, dude, I hadn't even thought about that shit, dude.
What?
Dude, people throwing up on you here?
I mean, it happened twice. They were
Like-
kids both times. One of them was 12. One of them was like 4. But yeah, I still don't like it.
Dude,
Just, like, this awkward conversation continues to just kind of exist. While Daisuke is like rifling through all of these
It's like,
drawers
all
in the
right, looking for
background.
anything important here.
Let me get a roll from you. We're gonna make this one a junction because you're kind of in tune with your anima right now.
He's definitely the smarter of the two of us.
Well, there you go. So we're gonna let's see. Hold on, just a sec.
I mean, if technically I could, if you want, I could stretch the use of my first ability through this, technically speaking, because the wording on how my first ability works is a little technical. Technically, I'm allowed to lock on to whatever I'm targeting. So if I'm targeting a certain kind of file, can I activate it to know exactly where it is?
I'm gonna say for the sake of this, no, because it is technical and I remember it, and were you to want to take that wording, you would have put a hole straight through it.
Well, that's only if I fire it. The first part of it just lets me get the lock on.
So, okay, so are you using the anima ability again?
Yeah, I'll use it again.
For
It's
the
fine.
lock- Okay, all right. I thought you were writing the first when you like.
Oh no,
fired
no,
the
no,
shot,
not the
like-
first one to shoot through it. I want. No,
Okay.
I'm fine with using it again. I mean, blowing a lot of my anima points here, but fuck it, whatever. We're trying to get this done. We're doing plot. So yeah, I mean, so as I am realizing that I have to find something and thus am technically targeting something, I'll kind of be like, oh, I guess this counts. And I'll like kind of share this like notion at my anima, just like, all right, stop being shy. And so behind me will appear this very large, kind of gangly skeletal figure with milky white skin, a single eye on its head, and a very large sniper rifle for its left arm, which is kind of like hunched over me. And I'm like, all right, what are we looking for? And Daisuke closes his right eye, leaving only his left open, and his vision aligns with shoot to kill's scope, and thus hones in on the target he's looking for. So in this case, it would be just like kind of highlight the file I'm looking for.
Okay. Perfect. So you find the file. You open up the one. It's specifically put in a back drawer folder or like a drawer pull, but the files within are all brand new. They're in deep blue, and all stamped with classified information for the current investigation. Like this is all ongoing stuff. One of which in particular, based on that anima ability, you pull out and begin to leaf through, while we jump back to Jordan and Risako. What are you guys up to?
Oh yeah, bro, we're going to sandwich shop, right?
I think so.
Sneaking away.
I think
As
so.
I look at Risako like, bro.
Bruh. Yeah, bruh.
Oh, secret, bro, so tight.
Okay.
Yeah, we head to the sandwich shop.
Okay, so at this sandwich shop, full glass, like 3 fronts of the building are all glass. It's kind of got that dinery feel inside with the tile floors and the red velvet, or not red velvet, red vinyl seating. The chrome bar on the backside, and you walk in and there's a couple people sitting there. It's far more empty than it looks like it should be for how kind of ritzy this sandwich shop is. But the guy standing behind the counter, he looks at you and he goes, "Welcome in. Then, new folks, you gonna have a seat at the tables or up at the bar?"
Wait, did Mr. Bod say it was dangerous to go in because that's where everything happened?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. A booth is fine.
Yep.
Are those red velvet?
Wait, buddy, or why not?
I listen to that when I work out.
It's red vinyl. It's a little different.
Oh, the seats that you get stuck to. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Well, it's not ideal in the summer, but it's spring, so it works. Go ahead and have a seat. I'll be right there.
Fantastic.
Okay, so I'll sit over at the diner, and he eventually comes over and he goes, "What can I get for you both?"
Just a water to start out with. Do you have a menu we can look at?
And he goes, "Oh, yep, of course." And pulls them out from under his arm and just kind of sets them on the table and says, "I'll go get you some waters." And he walks off for a sec. Is there anything you want to discuss while he's out, or do we want to just bring him back in with that water?
Oh, should we should we like kind of like interrogate him, like sit him down and like ask a bunch of questions, or should we just like sneak him in like, "Oh, I'm gonna have this, but like your business seems kind of busy. I have a lot of kids in here recently," or like.
I mean, if you want to take the lead on that, I was gonna see if I could excuse myself to the restroom and check the place out.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Let's go for it.
Okay.
Improv,
nice.
right?
All right, so he eventually comes back and he looks at the 2 of you and sets 2 glasses down and he goes, "All right, are we ready to order? Do you know what you're going for?"
I'll take the club. Do you have a restroom that I can use?
Yeah, no, it's just in the back. If you turn left, it's the kitchen. If you turn right, it's the bathrooms. So
Perfect.
make sure you turn right.
Of course. Okay, thank you. And I will go down the hallway, but look in the kitchen first.
Are you going into the kitchen, or are you just kind of peering through their like the
The
window?
little porthole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of peering in real quick.
Okay. Yeah, give me an intelligence check.
Ooh, okay.
We're going to make that target 5.
Okay. That was a 6.
Very
Hey.
nice.
We love
So
that.
it is immaculate in there. You're actually surprised by how almost obsessively this place is cleaned. It's incredibly well maintained for a sandwich shop in a place this small.
Interesting. Okay. I'm trying to go back here to see if I can suss out any vibes of the mirage being more prevalent here. I'm just not sure how it would do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, so if you would like to find that, I'm going to call that, I would require a junction roll for that, which will take one of your AP.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to look at... Let's make this... Let's make this intelligence like before, but we're going to amp it up with your anima and add their power to it.
Okay.
So, intelligence plus power roll.
Okay.
And we're going to make the target for this... what are the 2 dice you're using?
They're both D10s.
D10s? Okay. We're going to make this target 13 or higher.
Oh God. Okay. Hang on.
I believe. I have full faith.
Oh no. I only got 10.
Okay. I'm a fan of partial successes myself, so still information.
Okay.
As you're peering through this porthole and you kind of get your anima kind of leans over to watch as well and as kind of surveying the area with you. You watch almost as if somebody shook an antenna, the whole kitchen just kind of shifts, just vaguely as if it was you were watching a recording. Before it kind of, as it settles back in, you watch a figure. You would consider it a figure normally, and you would know these. You would actually know these from your experience being in the Mirage before, but the figure that walks in looks like television static, or like somebody had like censored the image. Like they're very, very hard to make out in the way that they kind of break and refract as they move. Humanoid in size, more lithe than a humanoid, almost skeletal in their frame, but they are definitely visually. You would recognize that as an animus without the user.
Oh, okay. Risako is going to like very quickly duck underneath the little porthole and like hide herself against the wall, look around, and then just dart into the bathroom to hide really quick.
Sounds good. So you dip into the bathroom. Jordan, what conversation are you having with this waiter man?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be like, oh, so I've never really been here before. Like, you guys got, it seemed like you guys got a lot of business yesterday or like the day before. Like, what's your most popular thing? You know?
I mean, we're slammed most of the time. This is really there's not a lot going on here right now.
Yeah.
Most popular is gonna have to be our lobster and gator sausage po' boy. It is
lobster and
something
gators.
So
something
good. Oh my
to,
god.
Something
Okay.
to behold.
Oh
Okay.
my god, that sounds so good.
Yeah, was it big with the
Because they
youngin
are.
crowd? Because, you know, my taste buds are a little weird, you know?
I mean, we get tourists in all the time who will come and try it. Most people don't stock it on the menu, but it was a family favorite for a while. And I say, hey, what the hell? So we put it on the menu. Yeah, we get lots of people coming in for that sandwich. A lot of youngins, like you were mentioning, over the last couple of days. But I think they're all here they're all still just tourists.
Yeah, cool.
Spring break or what have you, you know.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna. I look down at the menu again. I think I'll have that. Is it like prepared weird, or is it just like unusual? You know, like.
Yeah,
what's
I
up with
mean,
it? I've never had one
lobster's
before, you know.
definitely a Pacific Northwest kind of thing, and gator's gonna be down south. So it's a meeting of two spectacular seafoods.
Can I?
I don't think
Wait, is
gator's
gator a
seafood
seafood?
now.
I mean, it's in
No,
water.
you beat me to it. So he like the part in his brain's like, oh wait, no, that one of those isn't a seafood.
Can I like
They're still good. You should
like
have one.
vibe check him? You know.
Sure.
Like I'm trying to think of how I'm doing it, but I'm like, does he seem like he knows a lot, or is he just like answering my weird questions? You know.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a. I'll let you make this a junction if you want some more information and spend an AP. Otherwise, you could just make this a charisma check.
So how does the combined work? Because my animus is lower than mine, so would that be bad to junction it then?
No, it just adds to the skill. So it's
Okay,
you're rolling 2 dice instead of 1.
Yeah, then I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay, so spend an AP for that. You're going to be
Okay.
rolling your intelligence, or your charisma, sorry,
Mhm.
plus their, let's see, I'm going to find our anima stats and recall what they all are here.
I could give you a bias on what it should be.
We're going to make that power. We're going to make it
Oh, sweet.
charisma and power so we can just kind of bump your intuition here.
Okay. Actually. Okay.
We're going to make
that's
that a
cool.
target 10.
Target 10. Okay. 16.
16. Very nice. So this guy is.
Oh, I
just-
rolled one of the wrong die. 1 second.
Ooh.
Okay. I rolled a d10 instead of my d8. So that was 8 plus 6. Okay, that's 14.
Still works. So this guy is the most genuine, just sweetest, kind of dense dude you've ever met. He is totally sincere in everything he's saying, and based on like you and your anima vibe checking him at the same time, like it's if something is happening in this diner, he has no fucking clue.
Okay.
Like he's just like very proud of this place, but not a concept of what else is going on.
Smells innocent. I'll say in my head.
Smells.
Do you know what your girlfriend is gonna want when she gets back?
No. It's not my girlfriend. We're like we barely know each other, like friends-ish, you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
usually start there with. So it's not even like a first date, or.
No, we're not dating. No.
Oh,
Totally no. Whoa. No.
that's good because when a lady leaves to the bathroom, like as soon as you show up, usually it's a bad sign that things aren't gonna go super well.
Well, then that's good. Yeah.
Yep. So, do you know what?
No,
what she's gonna want?
she's not my type. Yeah. Well, I mean, she already ordered, didn't she? Just
No.
move on.
I mean, you were asking about the food, and then now when she left to go use the bathroom.
I thought she said she wanted a club. Did I mishear that?
Oh, I might have missed it.
Yeah, I think it was a club. I mean, if not, club seems her vibe, you know.
Sounds
But
good.
I'm sure she's in some
will-
school clubs or something.
I'll get. I don't think they're the same club. I'll get you your sandwich. I'll get her hers, and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Walks back. How long are you staying in the bathroom, Risako?
I'm waiting until I hear the kitchen door open and close to insinuate that the guy has gone back inside.
Okay, so you do hear that fairly shortly following. Are you just passing back to the table?
I think. Oh no. I think I'll wait until I hear like the door has just completely shut, and then I'll just peek in another time.
Okay. Sure.
Oh no.
So, what you see, and Daisuke, what you find out in that folder, are both things I'm going to reveal when we get back from break. It's gonna be
Oh,
up
the
now.
cliffhanger!
I know, I love those when I can really set one up.
You bastard!
We've got. We'll be back in 5 to 10. Hang out. It'll be a great time.
Messed up, dude.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be good. But we'll see you shortly. Thanks for sticking around. We are playing Overarms by Rookie Jet Studio. It is a fantastic anime-inspired anime user-esque system for anybody who has just joined us, for anybody who is still watching. Thanks for hanging out. This next part, I'm going to preface real fast. Once we get into the Mirage, because we will be touching into that here in a minute. No spoilers, but it's there. Combat in this system and the exploration of this Mirage we do have good and bad tables for donations. I usually don't use those, but this specifically, if you want to make stuff weird for them, $5 is a good table, $10 is a bad table, and we can complicate some things if y'all are feeling it. But back to our two epiphanies that we held you off on a cliffhanger. We'll get to Daisuke's first because he's been waiting on that folder. As you open that folder up and you begin to read, there are like annotated notes at the base of all of these, just repeats. These are all copies of 5 or 6 different death certificates, and then like coroner's notes and things on the bottom of them. And all of them seem to have the same quizzical tone, almost getting more maddening as you go because he just does not get what's going on. But all of them appeared to have died of, at least internally, it comes across as old age. This was organ failure and almost heart attack-esque symptoms and breakdown of like the white blood cell count, things like that just kind of gradually deteriorates. But this happened like that,
So they're not just
comparatively.
sick, they're aging. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, and over the course of all of these 5 or 6 coroner's reports, it gets more and more confused, but he's more and more sure that these are something is aging them, because all of them were of vastly different ages at the time. They were, different genders, body types, different pre-existing conditions. Like, none of it makes sense for them to have just died outright like they did. And there was apparently no connection between all 5 of them as he's going through everything. You also hear footsteps coming down the hallway.
Time to scram. All right. I will try to quickly shuffle that back into its place and make my way outwards.
Okay. You are still invisible, but I would like you... I'm not going to make you roll a... I'm not going to make you spend an AP on this, but I would like you to roll power for your anima. See how long this invisibility is going to last you.
That's my second highest stat. So here comes that D10. Jesus, stop going off the table. There we go. That's a 6.
All right. Just barely a success. Target was 6. So, you do manage to make it all the way out of the building. You pass your friend Daiki, who's...
I'm kind of like flick him a bit and sort of just be like, I'm good, we're out.
All right, cool. Dice Squad. Out.
Die gang gets it done.
The receptionist looks at you quizzically. She's like, sorry, what was that?
Pie squad? Because we're gonna go
Dice Squad.
get some pie later.
Sick.
Yes.
Enjoy,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, man. See ya. Thanks, bro.
Apple pie, a little bit of cheddar. You know how it is. And then,
Yes.
and then you two peel out of the clinic. Simultaneously, Risako, you watch this chef. I mean, he kind of is just this one-man band for the whole place. Walks back and starts preparing these sandwiches. And as you glance in, very briefly, you watch the room shift and kind of glitch again, and you watch the mirage of one of these animus pass through, almost like fitting the form like a cookie cutter for a sec, before the room glitches again and just, like, it's gone. And he stumbles, and you can see him kind of drop his knife as he does, coughing for a sec, and he, like, you can physically hear him. Oh, that was weird. Oh, Phil. Maybe I'll close up early today. I'm not. Sandwiches. He, like, reconnects his thinking and starts continuing on with the sandwiches. Are you rejoining the table?
Yeah, I'm like power walking back to the table, like.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Perfect. So you return to the table. Free to discuss as you like.
All right, what do we got?
I
I mean, what do we got?
there's I want to say it's like an animus possession or something. I was looking into the kitchen and it glitched, like looking like it was in the mirage or something, and then I saw an animus without a user. It was just walking around, and then the sandwich guy came back into the kitchen and it glitched again, and it like took him over, and I think he's infected or something now.
Okay, quick question.
Yes.
Like, rack your brain.
Uh-huh.
Anima, probably bad, right?
Yeah, probably bad.
Okay, two. Infected him or using him as like a tool to infect the food?
I don't know.
Because people who like went here got sick, not like the people working here, you know?
Right. It's hard to say, but it went into the mirage, and then it like walked where he was, and then it went back to our world, and then he started not feeling good. So it's
Okay, last question. You want a club, right?
Yeah, but I thought we were just gonna get info and leave, and like not
Well, okay.
actually eat the
Well,
food.
okay. Here's what I got. But,
Okay.
So, yes. So I asked him. He said he would, like the place got really busy within the past few days,
Okay.
and there's one like really popular dish, which I was like, if it's transmitted by food, that could be it. You know. It's the gator something shrimp po' boy thing. That
It's
one.
actually lobster, as the individual
It's
walks
actually
out
lobster.
with both dishes, and he sets them down, and he looks at you. His shoulders are dropped a little bit. He definitely looks just tired, like crow's feet. He's a little bit paler. He goes, "Oh, sorry, I don't work. Didn't realize I've been overworking myself. It just caught up with me. Do you guys need anything else before I go clean up the kitchen?"
Are you feeling all right, my dude?
Oh yeah, it's nothing
Dude.
I get sleep off.
Oh, cool. No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
as he walks away, he yawns again, and he kind of sits and rubs his eyes. And as he turns away from you and walks down, as his hands like reach his side, the palm here you can see just a little bit of blood.
Fantastic.
Oh, and I vibe checked the dude. He seemed fine when he was taking our orders.
Right.
Like,
right.
no.
So,
Yeah, didn't know anything. Like, good. Also,
Okay.
should we just go like? Should we fight the anima now? Like, if it's bad? Like.
no, we need our friends. We need the Die Squad. My God,
Also, I
can't
think
believe
he's
they call
about to
themselves
die.
Speaking of the Die Squad, anything you guys are chatting about while you're walking?
All right, fill me in, man.
All right, so couple of death reports hanging out in the back. Nothing too interesting, but they get more erratic. It's almost like they have no idea what in the hell's causing this thing.
Right, I mean, they don't. That's why
But-
CDC shut down the entire town.
I did find out something really interesting when it comes to this, I guess, flu or whatever. These people aren't getting sick and dying. They're aging.
Like, rapidly?
Yeah, like freshly healthy to dead in 3 days kind of aging.
Shit, man, I don't know how much I can do about that. Like, diseases, bleeding from eyes, sure, like, I can take that
Yeah.
on, but like,
Key, I think you should know by now that anytime we encounter weird shit like this, it's probably not involving reality, so we should probably go find our friends and do some mirage fighting, huh?
yeah, I guess. Never tried just like talking to Mirage though.
Yeah, well, you never know, but either way, that's where we're headed, so...
All right, let's go
What's
find
up?
our friends, man. You
Let's
called
go.
us your friends.
Yeah, let's not bask in it, all right?
I'm gonna bask the shit in it, man.
I'd just rather you not dead.
That's like friendship right there.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway,
So
we're just gonna
as
make our way to sandwich shop.
okay, so you guys have commuted like Sandwich Shop as the meeting place for everybody.
Might as well. I mean,
Probably.
which one to meet
That
with you
works
guys?
for me.
Yeah, put it in the group chat or something.
Yeah, like you guys can text each other. Y'all got phones, so.
Technology.
So you all head to the sandwich shop. You're all sitting. There are 2 sandwiches still in front of you. I don't know if you're eating, but they are there. Jordan's, yours
No.
specifically smells real fucking good. Like,
I'm gonna like really tempted to eat it. I'm gonna like poke at it. Like, I haven't taken in enough protein today. Like resisting the urge to eat it.
And you just kind of walk in like, yo, you eating that? And Daisuke can just like pick it up and like grab a bite and then drop it back down. Fuck, that's good. You got a taste, musclehead.
Just cries. Like the total like face like wide like streaming tears just wiggling.
So what's
What do we got?
Risako will just kind of lean in and say, we've got a rogue anima here.
As in here?
Real
Yeah.
quick,
Yes.
for context to you all, because you have been in the Mirage before, there are anima users like yourself, which are inherently more powerful versions of animus, which are the non-user-based anima. The Mirage itself is filled with animus. That's where they come from. So, like, a non-anima connected, or like a non-user connected anima, not uncommon. You've seen them every once in a while, but like it's still important.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to focus
I'm
too
just
much
more
on
concerned
like
that
that
it's
one thing's existence.
Yeah. I'm just more
Yeah.
concerned that it's like that it's here, like here, like right here where we are is more the thing I'm concerned about, as
Oh, yeah,
opposed to
for
being
sure.
like, oh, it's an animus, okay, whatever, but like, oh, it's here.
Yeah.
yeah.
The chef
exactly.
also looked.
Yep.
The chef also looked really tired and started bleeding when he walked away.
Oh boy, I'm guessing we're gonna go ahead and put two together. It's probably our virus situation.
I
Yeah.
think it's an animus that's possessing people.
Like,
maybe
it walked
drawing
through 'em,
something
right?
from them. Yeah, it took up the same space. I did Die Squad. I went and checked into the kitchen and saw that it had taken over the same spot as the guy in like a glitch of the Mirage, and then he started not feeling great. So it's either possession or stealing some of his life energy. I don't know.
Whatever it's doing, it's aging these people, not just making them sick. I got my hand on the hospital records. Don't ask how. And they don't look good. Those people aren't just dying; they're rapidly aging.
Right.
This is corroborated as the chef comes out, seeing new people at the table, and he goes, "Hey, what can I get for you? I didn't realize you had friends coming. Could have ordered earlier."
How's he look now? Is he still bleeding?
He is, so there's no blood under his eyes. His eyes are a little bit more bloodshot. You can see a little bit more sallowness. He's definitely worse off than he was before, but he's not, he doesn't seem to be consciously noticing it.
Well, Daisuke here has already eaten my meal, so he's fine.
Gotta
Oh,
say,
that's a
this
shame.
kid has good taste.
It was, yeah, it was also my recommendation, but it's the store favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like everyone's been ordering it.
Yeah, a lot of young people have been ordering it.
Oh, like all the sick people.
And Dice
What?
like pauses mid-bite, just like, why didn't anyone lead with that?
Why do you
Oh
think I
no,
wasn't
okay,
eating?
those are uncorroborated. We have CDC,
Right,
came in,
right,
they
right,
wanted
right.
to talk about stuff. I don't think
Dude.
it's actually my
I'll be
All
real
right,
with you.
fair enough. And just back to eating food.
Why do you think I look so pained sitting here in front of it?
Hey, I saved you half if you want it.
Dude, are you super tired or super high? I said the chef.
yeah, it's been like a week since I got high.
Oh, dude. All right. Your eyes are like fucking bloodshot, man.
Are they really? Oh, maybe I'm more tired than I am. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and close up shop after you guys are done. Just go ahead and finish up. I'll grab the dishes and things, but I really should go get some
Yeah,
rest. That's
you
a
know
good
what?
idea.
You got it, man. Don't worry about it.
it.
We're gonna coordinate our situation here, and then we're just gonna jump out of your way. man.
Sounds good. I'll get you a check once you're all done. And he walks over to the door and he flips the open sign to close, and he kind of walks back, and you can hear him start cleaning things.
I'm gonna look over to
None of this or what?
Risako. I'm gonna be like, is it still here? Yeah, can you tell?
I mean, we can all see it.
No, the anima in the back room.
It's probably still there.
If it's back in the kitchen, then or wait. So at this point,
No, yeah, I didn't see it. She
he's
saw
trying.
it.
He's like trying to put things together. It's like, wait, Risako, you saw the animus in the kitchen, right?
Yep.
And that's where our friend is headed.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking maybe we should go stop that.
It already walked through him once. Like, what more could it do?
Kill
Right.
him.
Yeah, it could like seriously hurt him, man.
Well, but it was hear me out. It seems like a slow deterioration process after initial touch, right?
So do we
Okay.
waste time letting it get to more people, or do we go
I
get it
don't
down?
want it to like hurt him more.
No, I definitely want to go check it out. I just think he's not gonna get any worse than he is, you know?
Could be. Either way, let's go find out. And he'll
Yeah, I
start
agree.
to get up and begin like making his way back.
Yeah,
towards...
you stand up and you guys start to like chat and stuff, and as you start walking back there, you can hear the quintessential sitcom sound of just pans and things landing against tile, and then the slump of this chef just hitting the floor hard.
Yep. I had a feeling.
Yeah. All right.
Can we look for the spooky thing?
Yeah.
Unanimous.
So if you walk into that space, what you see is casually sitting on the opposite counter. So there's an island in the center of the kitchen, and then the chef is here. On the opposite side of that island, sitting on the back counter back here, is that, well, you all would probably perceive it as the same thing. Risako, this actually looks like a different, the animus is a different size. Like, same kind of humanoid form, but looks more like a child, smaller. But just kind of sitting back there. And you can watch that same kind of, like, television static glitch of transference move between the now unconscious and dying chef, almost like it's being Dementor sapped into this animus on the opposite side of the room.
Can I try something real quick?
Yeah, what you up to?
I'd like to use my first ability, Purifying Flames, to see if I can, like, cleanse some sickness from him. Maybe even just help a little bit, if not fully.
Yeah, give me just a second here. Yeah, so this one will require, because abilities do require stats based on their use. I'm not going to charge you for shooting a door, but it'll require an AP, and then it's going to be a junction to, we're going to make that a dex plus a speed.
Dex. Dex plus speed.
Target 7, because you're basically responding to this to try to, I think, instinctually kind of halt that connection.
Okay, let me do my -1 real quick. And Dex plus speed is 8 plus 10. 11.
Very nice. Okay, so yeah, why don't you actually, because you are all in the presence of Animus and Anima users at this point, why don't you describe your Anima for us as it appears and channels through?
Yeah, as I like walk in, kind of looking panicked, seeing like the guy's like clearly gotten worse after I was like, he's not gonna get worse. And then as I'm like panicked, a very like tall and proud, like almost female figure towers over me. She's got an elegant, like almost like feline characteristic, like human with slight feline face, like pointed like features, and like, you know, like the cat's eye kind of vibe, and like tannish beige flowing long hair as it like coils, like flows around her with like glints of gold, and very ferocious looking, and like just like a rage and like a fire burning in her eyes as like that like transitions to like a light like magical flame on the body.
Yeah, so this flame creates a barrier and some amount of sanctuary in defense of this individual, and two things happen in response to that. You watch at least where the head would be. You can't see any physical, like, clean details from this thing, but the Animus sitting on the counter whips towards you and looks directly in your direction as well as in the direction of your Anima, as the fire that wreaths the chef on the ground breaks that kind of connection of energy absorption, and the Animus blinks out, like vanishes in the same glitch of space, and as they disappear, as does the kitchen, and the whole space kind of shifts. And because y'all are connected to the mirage close enough, when it disappears, y'all are jumped through and end up standing on the opposite side of this plane in the mirage. So all 4 of your anima are in full view, present behind y'all, and you all 4 are looking upon like MC Escher-esque labyrinthian, like the blue-green, like almost 3D break of visual of this different like brutalist architecture that's moving all throughout the space, and in the center of this kind of winding, like arbitrarily designed city of stuff, there's a tower, kind of. I'd call it a tower. It's not quite a castle because it's too narrow, but a big spire that kind of winds up through the center of it that you can see lights on in between, and various animus in the same manner that you see them before. You would know that visual of that static in the mirage eventually fades away when you get close enough to an animus, but at a distance they all still have that kind of TV fuzz look to them, and they are all over the fucking place.
Yeah, you never get tired of hating this place.
Hate it. Fucking hell yeah. Let's go fuck someone up, man. We found the source. And he's gonna hold his 2 fists up like this, and his animus just will put down 2 large marble-esque fists and connect with him.
Oh, that's so cute.
All right.
Yeah, it's like many times as we do this, I still never expect it. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, well, my guess is we got at least one place to look, and if I had to put any amount of money on it, kind of points that big tower, it's probably over there.
All right,
So
everyone stretch up.
as y'all are stretching and get ready for things, or watching Daiki stretch at least, Daiki and Risako, will you guys both explain your anima and their visuals for the rest of everybody who hasn't heard?
Go for it.
Oh, sure. So Daiki's anima, Achilles, is a Grecian statue that looks like a train ran into it. Not that it's fragmented, but across the shoulder blades there are steam pipes poking out, and back at the elbow joints there are golden gears, and looks like a perfect Grecian visage and just like one golden ticking clockwork eye at the center. Very Art Deco mixture of classic Greek perfection of marble and like the mechanical industrial steampunk look at the joints. And it's just kind of, as it connects with them, shoots off a steam blast back over its shoulders. And they're both just like clearly warming up and mirroring each other's motions.
Perfect. Risako, how about yourself?
So Risako's also kind of like stretching and limbering up, but while she does that, you hear like the soft sound of a saxophone playing in the background as her anima, Rosebud, walks into view, kind of looking like there's a spotlight on her, or at least an extreme difference in lighting. You see a woman in all in black and white, like kind of classic 1920s spy. She looks like she's taken directly from like an old film reel, so she's kind of glitching in and out as if it's an old film reel, kind of having a hard time staying on the reel. She is in black and white. She's got a tightly wrapped trench coat over kind of a long slinking dress, a fedora on her head as her long hair kind of covers the other side of her head. She's just kind of standing there, just watching everyone do this, just taking everything in. And Risako will just kind of turn around like, I'm sorry, we're just having a little bit of fun. And Rosebud will just kind of nod her head and walk into the rest of the group.
Perfect.
For the stretch, I'm gonna do that Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible, just like bicep pump,
yes,
like
the fist reload.
and I'm gonna say, Leah, are you ready for the hunt? As you see, like the feline warrior just like pull out her claws, just let out that like cat screech, like rah rah, you know.
Yeah. And I just kind of like crack a few knuckles on my left hand, and then on my right, I'm just like, all right, you done being shy yet, or are we still acting like this? And again, kind of like phasing out of that like smoky mist will come like with the gun arm kind of first like landing in front of Daisuke, and then kind of like the right arm kind of coming back to cock it a bit to see that very, very like large humanoid figure with his eye kind of like looking straight forward. And as Daisuke kind of like leans forward, his left eye is now also similarly like the same glowing purple as the eye on the statue, or on the figure behind him.
Perfection.
Shoot to kill. I miss you.
This is everything I needed out of anime descriptions.
It's so great. I'm so in love right now. I can't keep the smile off my face. It's so wonderful.
So
It's so great.
The only thing better would have been if we did like a twirl as they came out.
Oh yeah, it's like the magical girl pose. Oh my god, yes.
So, based on these descriptions and this kind of like fuck around and find out mentality that y'all have while warming up, are you guys just kind of marching straight there? Are you gonna try to avoid Animus on your way? Like, is stealth an option, or do you care?
Achilles is like at least a size or two larger than the rest of them. Stealth has never been an option. I'm trying to be stealthy,
Okay.
but the clap of my marble cheeks is alerting all the Animus.
God damn it, Turk. Fuck.
I don't know how to give out inspiration if it exists.
While
I don't have it, but
turning
that
invisible-
was good.
I was about to like say the complete opposite, but I feel like it's a little thrown out now. 'Cause
Yeah,
was
I
gonna
mean,
say-
shoot to kill, I'm capable of turning myself and my anima invisible, but that's only for me. And since I'm walking with you guys, honestly,
Like-
I'm gonna go with the opposite approach, which is like, I'm fine with us like approaching the tower and like not outwardly looking for a fight. If any animus approaches them, I'm definitely like just gonna like point, like aim at them and just be like, you don't want to do this, friend. Like you should step back.
He moves like my Animus basically moves like a shitty B movie, like Jason the Argonauts thing where it's all joints and
Oh, yeah.
and giant
Mine
shit.
It's mine almost always whenever, I mean, you rarely ever see my anima move by virtue of like, it's usually kind of like in like that sniper's first position. But when you do see it moving, it kind of shambles almost on all fours in like a almost spider-like thing, which
Ooh,
is very
yeah.
awkward given that one of its arms is a very long sniper rifle. So it's a very weird looking kind of shamble as it moves around behind me.
I was gonna go for like the lioness on the prowl, like in the tall grass, just like waiting to pounce. But since we're, Daiki went first, I'm gonna go with the bold walk forward, no fear on my face, like just. But I will have like my like predator eyes out, like looking for, like, not avoiding animus, but looking for ones that resemble or might be similar to the one we saw, because I'm assuming there might be more if this many people have been infected.
Yeah, so as a note, 2 notes to everybody. In the Mirage, you guys are all aware of the fact that pretty much any animus that is not bound to a user is hostile. Like, there's kind of just an end there as far as conversation to be had. Some of them are less hostile than others, but anything will try to fuck you up if you get too close to it.
Yeah, which is why I was thinking the approach of like any anima, like, or animus that catches our attention, or like, that like sees and notices us, or like comes towards us, I'm just gonna like have both, obviously, like Daisuke with his finger gun and shoot to kill with his rifle, just like point at them like, yeah, just back off. You don't want to do this.
Yeah, we can do intimidation. That works for me.
I don't know if animuses like have like personas or like intellects or anything, but just very clearly trying to like intimidate them down, just like back
Yeah, I mean,
away.
they are combinations of, or they are extensions of you and your kind of inner workings. So anytime they're trying to intimidate, as are you.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically our game plan. Shoot to kill is very just like, I'll put a hole in something if I have to, but I'd rather not waste the time if I can avoid it.
Okay.
Bullets.
I'm gonna say this: if you would like to, because of kind of how confidently y'all walk into the Mirage, the target is gonna be fairly high. But if you would like to make a junction roll for intimidation, we can see how much we can avoid.
I'm
I'd
down
love
for
to
it.
use my charisma and my defense.
Can I use strength and something else? Because strength they mentioned is like good for like scaring people off.
So junction, intimidating would be charisma plus power.
Ah, I see.
I will gladly roll this die.
I could do it too. Yeah.
With my giant titan.
I'll go for it. I'm not charismatic.
So injunction, that's going to be a 13.
A 13. All right, I'll take it. That is a success. That was a 12.
The clap of the cheeks echoes, scaring off all monsters.
It's just
echoes
like, look,
mightily through the land.
the rest of you are like, it's larger than your person. It is like sizably larger than all of you. At least like his torso up. Like, who wants to fuck with that guy?
Hey, I don't mind having a big man watch my back.
So you guys are passing through. You continue onward. This kind of intimidation of you guys have been in the Mirage before. You guys know how not to fuck around, and the Animus kind of recognize that and give you enough distance, at least on the outskirts, with a lot of kind of the lesser Animus. You manage to get to this kind of brutalist, I say hedge, but we're talking like just gnarly crags of building that move up and around and kind of glitch in and out. You manage to get to this weird city with the spire in the center of it. But you're still probably a couple blocks out from the spire at this point, but you are definitely in it now. There are Animus everywhere, and they usually travel in groups.
Do travel in herds.
Well, so far so good, huh? Let's not spook anything. Let's keep moving, huh?
As you travel forward, there are four Animus unmoving on either side, or two on either side of this kind of main thoroughfare as you pass through. You get basically to the steps of the spire before you see all four of them. And as you approach, and they kind of fade their fuzzy visage to give you a full, clear picture of what they are female statuettes. They almost look like the chess piece of a queen, but in a like a granite. And they've got long, kind of over-the-hand flowing sleeves. And in between, as they're all like sitting here like this, and the sleeves just kind of connect and taper off and fall. As they come into full view, you watch all four of them from one arm, like, draw a longsword out of the sleeve and drop the hand, and they sit, both gripped, arms back, like, just ready for you all to do something.
Don't suppose they're letting us through, huh?
Doesn't seem so, my man.
Alright then. Let's break shit.
How do we know we're like going towards the right anima? Like, do we see it past them, or like
We're going
are we
for the
on...
spire. I just
like, how do we know we're going in the right direction is kind of my question. Like,
I guess based on what you've gathered, you don't. But you also know the Mirage to be a reflection of kind of consequence in the material realm, whereas the largest, because the anima or the Mirage manifests itself differently like every time you go in there. It's always a little bit different, or something else is going on, depending on the problem you guys are tackling.
Okay.
They're pretty straight shots to the core of whatever the thing that you have to resolve. Like, you've done this enough at this point to know that these are basically, A to B kind of dungeon functions. Where it's like, we get in, we fuck around with the big thing. If we can get rid of it, we're good. Or at least we can get some answers.
Yep. Meaning you probably gotta get rid of these bastards. Alright, kids, suit up. Time to break shit.
Is that what we're doing? We gonna break some
At
shit?
this point.
Alright.
Sounds like it.
yeah, they drew swords. I mean, that's pretty aggressive.
That's pretty directly like, hey, come fuck around. So it's
And we're about to find out.
Alright, let's
Too bad I already did my pump.
like,
Hey, they didn't.
Let's
say
get
You
it.
can do it again.
You can.
Bam,
There's
bam.
never a bad time to reload fists. Never.
All right. So, the flow of combat. We're gonna start with your initiative. Your initiative is going to be the same thing as basically your dexterity stat to get out of the way of shit during this combat. So one of the interesting parts about overarms is you can immediately gather that people who are lower in initiative will be easier to take damage. With that in mind, go ahead and roll Dex plus Speed for me
I will do that right now.
for your initiative.
8.
Our decks are anima.
So it's gonna be Dex and Speed. So
Yeah, your Dex and your
Dex-
anima speed.
Gotcha.
Oh boy.
I got 17.
I got a 12.
I have an 8.
12.
17.
I am slow. I have a D4 for my speed.
Oh yikes!
I have a D12 for my.
I'm a big lumbering statue of gold and marble.
What did you get, Daiki?
8.
8. Okay. And Jordan?
12.
12. Very nice. So,
I had
with
to
that
sacrifice
in
speed
mind,
for power.
Between Daisuke and Jordan, who has the higher hit points?
I have 20.
I have 16.
Okay, Daisuke, you'll go first between the two of you.
Got it.
And then all of these creatures, for the sake of transparency, because it will make easier sense when you actually get in combat with them, they have... Ooh, I lost them. Where did they go?
Got it.
Come on. There we go. So their speed is... Or their initiative is 4. So these guys will... All 4 of these guys will go at the very end of combat.
Because they're made of stone. They can't move well.
Are you saying something?
I mean, you're just barely faster than them, I gotta be honest. Like, I love you, bro, but like...
Hey, you're made of stone and gears.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gears help, you know?
Gears help.
That's right, they do. And like he flexes and Achilles flexes as well.
Love it.
You see
Shoots
Rosebud
some
just kind of.
They're my favorite friends. I love them.
Steam shoots down from the
Wait,
elbow
wait,
down.
are we measuring? And my lady flexes as well?
Oh lord, they're at it again.
Size-wise.
Dude, how often do you go to the gym? Come on.
I love the narrative of this because the first person up is actually Risako.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, like Risako
Daiki
just
and
sees like
Jordan are
Daisuke
just
and
dicking around
Shikakill's
while
eyes just
she's
both look
fighting.
over just like, oh god, they're at it again.
Okay, so are you guys all comfortable with combat? You want a quick rundown? How are we sitting?
If you want to run it down, I'm fine with that, but I'm also
I am-
fine flying by the seat of my pants because imagine that's how we do it.
Very
I'm fine
good.
because I'm planning on starting with an ability.
Okay,
Probably
so
same.
as a note to everybody then, on your turn, you may perform up to 2 actions. Actions are attacking, moving, using an item, using an ability. Attacking is not using an ability. You can attack with your anima. You can also personally attack if you have a weapon. And you can use an ability from your anima. Those are all different things, you know. You will, when you attack... Let's see. Where'd it go? There we go. So, it is... There's 2 checks involved. There's an accuracy check and a damage check. You're going to roll the accuracy check against their initiative. If you beat their initiative, your accuracy succeeds. And then you roll your damage check.
Okay.
Be wary that some of your animas, like class types, have negatives towards accuracy and things. So just pay in mind on those sheets. But that's the gist of it. And then you calculate damage based on their defense. You subtract defense from damage. Anything remaining goes towards hit points.
Alrighty.
All right, that will bring us up to Risako.
Oh no.
I know.
Get him, girl.
Calm down.
Shit. think my anima is just gonna attack it at first, just to try and gauge to see how it is with this animus. And I would like to say that she has like a small pistol that she can use as a weapon.
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, for the sake of the anima, who's a 1920s spy, it feels very fitting.
Okay. So I'm gonna just try and shoot one of these guys with a pistol.
Let me just double check here. Yeah, so go ahead and roll accuracy for me.
Okay.
Which it should show you on your sheet how to calculate accuracy.
Dex +2 for a pistol,
Perfect.
I think.
Or
something.
yeah.
I don't know. I just pulled it straight from the book for that weapon, so.
I think it depends on if you're attacking by yourself or if you're using your anima ability. If you're just attacking by yourself, then it's that. But I think if you're using your anima, it's different.
Okay. Yeah, no, this would be with my animus.
So yeah, I think that would be based on what class you are. What class are you?
Assassin.
That's like speed and something else for assassins. I totally have it.
Accuracy is Dex plus Speed plus 1.
There you go. Yeah, that.
I just pulled it up for mine.
There you go. Nailed it.
I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget.
There you go.
Note taking.
I'm at like 4 pages of notes so far, dude. Dex +3 +1. Okay, so my dex
I post a note.
is a d12. 4 speed. It's also a d12. 5, 9. So 10 total.
10 will definitely beat their initiative. Yeah, that's a hit.
Cool. Yeah.
So go ahead and roll your damage, which should also be on your anima's block.
Dex plus B -1.
-1?
-1.
Okay. 13.
13?
Mm-hmm. Because my dex and my speed are both with a d12.
Okay. So the way damage functions is their defense is 4. So I take that 13, I subtract 4 from it. That's 9 damage total. So very casually, with all of the flavor of a 1920s. Absolutely. Just very nonplussed, pulls the pistol out and takes a shot.
Gun?
I mean, it is now.
It's in black and white though.
That
but
bullet.
Fair.
The only colored thing is gold.
That bullet hits just right between the eyebrows of this statuette, which is, I mean, fairly nondescript as far as the face is concerned. But it hits with such impact, you watch, almost like a black hole, you watch the whole head just kind of crumble and invert and like fall behind her as this statuette just and then kind
Risako.
of glitches into non-existence.
Risako will just turn around as her anima is finishing this attack and just looking back at the group. Are we fighting or are we talking?
Daiki and I like flexing, just like look back, like, oh
I think you ask if we're fighting before you shoot them.
Fucking nice, Risa. Yes.
As a note to complicate things, attacking with your anima does require an AP point.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're attacking multiple people, each one will require its own AP point. So y'all might want to find personal weapons at some point,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't burn through all of those. But from there, you still have a second action, actually.
Oh shit. Okay.
You shot once.
I think Risako and Rosebud are just gonna like very casually walk behind the group as their movement and just kind of both put their hands on their hips at the same time, kind of cock their heads to the side and say, "It's your turn."
In meta and out of meta, still sassy. That'll bring us on to Daisuke.
All right. So tell me something real quick. Are these statuettes, the 3 remaining, how are they formed? Are they kind of like in a row? Are they like...
They are not in a row, so the 3 that remain They're in a square, more or less, and there's two on either side of you. If you were here, let me face
perfect.
the camera like this. They're
So, yeah,
sitting like this, and you would be my nose in this example.
Cool. So I'm gonna go for whichever side still has 2. I'll use my first action to just kind of like move over to like line up with the 2 of them, and I'll go. Yeah, this shouldn't be that hard. As I close my right eye, and you'll see that left eye spark with a purple flame. Aim a finger gun, and I'm like, bang. And then there's a rush of like a gust of wind, unlike in the hospital, as like this concussive bang sounds out, and I'm gonna attack this thing.
Okay. So
as I am a fighter, that is my strength plus power minus my 1.
In combat, you're still attacking 2 enemies, so that will be 2 AP.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Let me do the... Yeah, those actually are... One's a D12 and one's a D10. Cool, so I'm gonna do that now.
Perfect.
That is a 13.
Very nice. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely a fucking hit. Jesus.
All right. And now I roll those same things, this time plus 1. Sorry, I'm bad at math. What's 9 and 11?
Don't even. Get out of here.
Okay.
It 9/11 means we need to invade the Middle Eastern country. Yes.
So, yeah, they put up the finger guns and take a shot. And not nearly the kind of grandeur and pomp and circumstance that Risako's gun just like pulverized the head of one of these, but just a perfect hole all the way through both of them. And they both, you watch the hole clean cut, and then both faces go to turn towards you as perfectly they just kind of continue in that trajectory and fall as they do, and both kind of land on the ground and kind of glitch out of existence.
Daisuke kind of like looks at his fingers, and you'll see like a few like purplish flames light up on his hands, and goes, "All right, I got about 9 more of those."
Jordan, or Daisuke, actually, that was one of your actions. What are you doing in the second one?
I think with my second one, I will just kind of slide over next to Jordan, kind of like taking a sight next to him, and just go ahead, big guy, I got your back.
All right, Jordan, you're up.
I feel bad. You flex on everything. Like, do you want it? I mean,
Nah. On you. Have fun.
No, not you. You weren't flexing. Daiki, do you want it? I don't want to take it away from you.
What, dude? Go.
Okay. No,
Jojo, step the fuck
right now.
up,
Go
Jojo.
ahead.
Okay. And then I do like a little squat, like runner's position, like squat, and then I use my second ability and just pounce, like bracing all the distance for the furthest and last one.
Okay.
As I use my anima power feral pounce.
Okay, so this is, so your anima does this, and I imagine you kind of get into the position, and then your anima does the same
Like
thing,
leaps off,
and then
yeah.
leaps over you, straight to this statue.
I didn't know if we both did it or not, so I just kind of like
these
over-prepared.
think of these like Pokemon fights. Like if you're
Okay,
using your
gotcha.
animus as a fighter, you're not doing anything. You're providing the commands. So in this case, it'll be a spent AP to do, or that second ability, but 2 AP to do so. Go ahead and roll. Well, I'm gonna actually give you this option because of the nature of your ability, being dedicated as a kind of a pounce.
Yeah.
Are you landing on them with the intent to kill? Or are you trying to restrain?
Kill.
Okay.
This one's just kill.
Fair enough.
Maybe not every time, but
Especially right now.
Okay. Well, let's treat it like an attack then. Go ahead and roll accuracy for me.
okay. I just wrote it down. Okay. So, quick question. So, your range is really high because you were a ranged fighter. Do you use your range for your attack, or do you still use the
Nope.
bad one? Okay.
My range has nothing to do with my attack roll. I just have really high range for some reason. It's thematic. I don't know.
That's why mine's weaker. Okay. So it's my intelligence plus range. Oh god. I didn't think this through.
I
For
believe
mechanical purposes, range actually does make a difference in combat arbitration. If you're taking a shot, your range stat, if you take that, it is worth about each point in your range stat is worth about 3 meters of distance that your attack can travel.
Oh, cool. I got distance then.
Yeah.
So
36 meters of range. It's not that bad.
Yeah, so you got about 36 meters on that power shot of yours that you
thank
can
you.
clear.
Cool. So it actually made sense to do that.
for
Yes,
clarification,
that's how that makes
I'm
sense.
really confident in character. Just I'm realizing now I built my stats awfully
Hell
for
yeah.
this character.
I believe in you.
You got this.
Okay. And it's -2 because I'm a mage. So that's 4 minus 2 is 2.
2.
Oh
Oh,
no.
buddy.
Okay, so you spend the AP. She goes to leap over you in this pounce. And with the longsword brandished, watching all of the other animus come towards, she sidesteps and just kind of bats to the side, hitting the flat of the blade against the side of your anima as you guys kind of just glance off of each other, and she turns and re-rests her sword, ready to come back up against you. You still have another action.
I, as a player,
Yes.
think I made it impossible to hit anything. By the way,
How
because
so?
I put my stats in the wrong point. I have 2d4s in intelligence and range, and it's -2.
Is that your accuracy to roll? Is intelligence and range?
Yeah,
So
intelligence and range -2.
at max. Yeah,
It's
so
6.
You might,
That's equal to
you
6.
might personally, you're gonna want 2 things then. One, you're gonna probably want a weapon more than anybody else will. Because it would be against your stats specifically, as opposed to your anima, as well as you might want to focus more towards the support factor of a situation, or doing things environmentally as opposed to directly attacking combatants.
Yeah, I built her assuming it would be a melee attack, which would be power instead of range. So I gave her 12 power and 4 range, even because I figured it was a melee attack to jump on someone. But statistically,
as a
it's still
mage,
range.
as your stat.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Well, we will talk about all of these things afterwards because that is a really interesting point to bring up.
That's good to consider though. I will
Yeah,
say.
no, I'm gonna force you to roll with it because complications, but that is interesting. Things to keep
I'm
in
going
mind.
to do a base anima attack then, just to try to hit something.
Okay.
So that's -1 AP, and same thing again, technically, right?
Yeah, it'd be your accuracy.
Same
again.
accuracy. Okay. 7 minus 2 is 5.
Okay. That is a success as far as
He
this thing
did
is
it!
concerned. Your accuracy is a 4.
He did it!
Okay. Okay. So, and then my damage is intelligence. At least there's a bonus on this one. Okay, this is better. 9 damage. Because
Okay.
mine's +2 instead of -2.
Perfect. So, based on that enemy, we are looking at 9 minus 4. Okay. So, what is your anima attack with normally?
Her claws.
Okay. So they sidestep each other, and she gets kind of bapped by the flat of the blade, and they glance off. Immediately, she spins on her heels and turns to take a good 2-step forward, and then both claws just carve into the granite of this statuette. Pieces kind of falling all over the place. You can watch the statuette kind of lose some of her structure as they're trying to hold themselves together and bring that sword back up. She is hurting, but she's still there.
You see me like stand up, kind of like bummed looking, or Jordan does, and I left him for you, Daiki.
It's all about the teamwork.
As you see, like his flex just falls to.
Oh, sadness.
Hell yeah, man.
It wouldn't be the same group without you, Jordan. We need you.
Jojo, we need you, man. My go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got a plan. Seth had the longest to sit and wait. Daiki is gonna just like jump, and Achilles is gonna scoop down his hand and bring him up, cup style, and then as it like moves forward, like he doesn't have a ton of speed obviously, but he's just gonna run and just launch Daiki at him, and he's just gonna pop out a brass knuckles and just take a swing at this thing.
Okay. All
There's
right.
rules.
So we're gonna roll accuracy based on your anima.
Okay, accuracy for anima.
Yep. And then we're gonna roll damage based on. Well, we're gonna do the power of the brass knuckles plus the power of your anima, but.
Okay, that is going to be a 12. I rolled an 11 and a 1.
Definitely hits.
Okay, so the brass knuckles are to hit is a dex +2. Should I even bother, or just go straight to strength damage?
So it would be for this. Yeah, just do the dex +2 for this one.
Okay, that's gonna be an 8.
Okay.
6
Yeah. So you get like pitched at this last statuette, full Superman. The impact through the carvings that Jordan had already made just shatter through the center, and you lose almost no momentum as you pass through and manage to kind of dive roll back to your feet.
Got the job done.
So
I get it now. I
Daiki,
pumped
that
the
was really
fist,
cool.
and then I didn't even hit it. I pumped my fist, not hers.
So that would be 6 damage.
It's okay,
Oh, yeah.
JoJo.
Yeah, it's dead. Like,
Big dog. Well, not bad. Got the job done at least.
Woo!
Did
Wow.
any of these animas drop anything, or did they just like crumble and?
they did
Get
indeed. Roll me a
sucked out.
d4, Risako.
Oh my god. That's a 3.
That's a 3. Okay,
Yeah.
give me a moment.
Good job, though, D4. I'm proud
I'm
of you.
gonna walk up to Leah and I'm gonna be like, sorry, my calculations may have been a little off. Maybe you do the calculations this time, and I'll go with your decision, as she has 12 intelligence and I have like none. Oh wait.
So you found 3 items, and I rolled max die on all 3 of these finds.
Oh, okay.
So you just RNG'd your way to some hella items.
Exciting.
So within these statuettes, you get a med kit, which,
Oh, yes.
upon use of an item, is a restore of 10 HP to an ally or a user. You also grabbed a lotus flower, which will fully restore the AP of a user,
Dude.
single use. And you also grabbed a they're basically just power crystals, but this one particularly is called a Zenith. And they boost your next accuracy check by a D4, whoever uses it, but consumable that'll bump your accuracy check.
Nice.
Out of game, just realized that I noted it wrong and wrote down base stats for my character and the RNG like power stats. So I have 2 different number sets that are completely different. One has intelligence, which is range, which is 12. One has 4.
Oh, no.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, no.
I just read the book completely wrong.
That's
Oh,
rough,
no.
buddy.
Check on those. Make sure you're using the right ones as we all venture into the double doors of this big old tower. Unless you're trying to get in another way.
No, I mean, honestly, might as well go right to the front, right?
Fair enough. So, with all of the Guardians of the Space destroyed, you travel inward to an empty space. The inside of the spire is hollow all the way up. It is one room. And as you walk into the middle, the centerpiece depresses just a little bit as if you kind of hit a lever. And you can feel the whole middle of this space begin to float upward, almost like an elevator, as all 4 of you are on this. And the spire itself narrows as it goes until eventually you reach a point where the platform that you're on connects, and then all of the portions of the spearhead of this spire unfurl like a flower. So you are now standing on like this massive like top of this building in this almost like spider chrysanthemum looking battlefield.
Daisuke kind of like looks off over the horizon, kind of just taking in the very, very large view, and just goes, in case any of us die up here, looks over to Risako and just goes, nice shooting back there.
You too.
Thanks.
Oh, come on.
I look over at Daiki and I go, we're not gonna die.
Of course we're not gonna die. Those two are just gonna like... Fuck, man.
Hey, shut it, you!
You won't die. I've been here a while. I'm not dead yet.
And who would you be?
And you all turn, and standing in front of you, or standing behind you, in front of you as you turn, but is a 13-year-old, or not 13, she would probably be closer to like 11. Like an 11-year-old girl in what looks like playground attire. She was in like bright blue, like shorts, overalls. They're not full length, they're just, and a bright pink shirt underneath it, short sleeve. She's got a little bow in her hair. She has a kind of a pail and a shovel at her side that she's kind of just swinging. She looks very, very casual about everything that's going on, just kind of happy to meet new people. And as you focus in on the space, behind her stands an anima that pretty much rivals, like, it towers by probably another 6 feet, Daiki's statue. And it kind of fades in and out of the space. It looks like a shadow. And it looks like the shadow of almost a minotaur. But a little ganglier, like somewhere between a minotaur and a leshen. If you're familiar. Like horns, fairly wild as they kind of almost move and tendril. No real specific shape to it. Just a big hulking gargantuan shadow. And this little girl looks at the 4 of you and she goes, oh, how did you all get here?
We walked in.
The sandwich shop.
Oh,
We were kind of pulled in. Are you stuck here? Or
yeah, I've been here for a long time. I don't know how to get out, but I made friends, and that's how I've been doing. And she gives you like this awkward thumbs up as the glitch of the mirage that just kind of happens through everything. You watch her glitch, and she goes from 11 to like 17 in a matter of like a second before one of those same kind of glitched like funnels of energy that you saw being pulled from the chef hits her, and she glitches back to 11.
Oh no. You're aging backwards.
No, I'm just not aging forwards. I have to, if he doesn't, she kind of gestures back up at him. If he doesn't keep helping me out like he has been, I'll die in here. He told me, so he's been making sure that I get, my juice.
Alright.
I'm gonna
Alright. Tell you something.
gently like kneel down and reach forward, and maybe we can help get you out of here then.
We're
Right?
gonna get you out of here. That's a promise, dude.
As I kindly reach in, as like not to scare her, but like on one knee and like reaching a hand forward, offering it.
So you offer a hand, and she looks at it, and she starts to reach out, and there's a hand out, and before she manages to get there, I need all of y'all to roll initiative for me.
Fantastic.
Because you are about to be just backhanded away from her by this horrible shadow anima.
Dex
This
and
is
speed, right?
Dex and speed.
Dex and speed.
All right, here's my D8. Where'd you go, D8? I know you're around here somewhere. Here we go.
I
Okay,
have a
I fixed my
3.
stats, by the way.
Yay!
That is an... Sorry, what is
I got a
that?
10.
That's a 15. I can't do math. Math is hard.
You got a 3?
I have
Oh.
a 3.
Does that operate as a surprise attack or just like brushes me away?
No, he's going to swing first, and then we'll hit
Okay.
initiative.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
cool.
Jordan, what did you get?
5 cents, what'd you get?
Oh, sorry. I completely forgot my name. I got a 10.
Jordan.
10.
Who the
Okay.
fuck is Jordan?
Risako,
It's like,
14.
14.
Mhm.
Daisuke,
15.
15. Very nice. Let me check on my buddy's stats here. Give us a minute. All right. So you will. He is going to swing against you, Jordan. So he's got to beat a 10. That's going to be. That's a D20. Okay, that is a 14. So that'll beat that. And then what is your defense? I think it should be on your anima stats.
yes, it is. And now that I clarified it, it's a little bit worse. It's a 4.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Because charisma is her lowest stat.
Okay. Oh, I feel real bad for that.
Oh no.
Med kits, right?
So
We got a med
so
kit, right?
thematically, you step forward and kind of take a knee and go to reach your hand out towards this child, and the child isn't thinking anything of it. She goes to reach her hand out, and with more speed than something the size of that should have, it reaches down and like stone walls between the two handshakes and just boo,
Oh,
and
shit.
sends you skidding probably a good 15 meters back through on this like chrysanthemum platform
So-
that you're on.
Can I
I-
try and stop that with my giant hands?
Yeah, hold on just a sec.
Sure.
Jordan, what was your thing?
I had a second question. Was I specified in one of my abilities that it is a reaction to someone being like attacked or hit? Was my defensive pounce? Is that like an in-game reaction, or is that still an action to
I-
defend?
I'm going to arbitrate that for the sake of this, that it would be an in-game action, but it would be in defense of someone else.
Yeah,
You
no,
can't
that
really
makes sense.
pounce towards yourself.
Well, because I don't pounce, as you point out, the anima pounces, but no,
Right.
that's fair.
Yeah. She's still an extension of you, so you can't use
Yeah.
that to defend yourself with.
Gotcha.
Daiki, what were you saying?
Can I attempt to have Achilles throw his giant hand out and catch Jordan as well as Leah?
Yeah, let's, so we're gonna make that, is that one of your abilities?
No, but I'm going to use my ability as part of it.
Okay, which one? The first or the second?
My first, take on damage from an object and or other.
Okay, so you're trying to take the brunt of this to help out Jordan.
Like literally, as if Jordan and Leah collide, like the damage, like the strike, the impact will like transfer, hand will glow, and the impact will show on Achilles' chest. The marble will crack
Okay,
in location on his
Yeah.
chest.
I'm way down. Go ahead and give me. We're gonna make this a junction roll. It's
All right.
going to be. Your target number is 8, and it will be speed, plus. Oh, I guess that's defense. So let's make that dexterity and defense.
All right, I like that a whole lot better. That is going to be. I can do math. 13.
Okay, very good. So you will take the damage for this instead.
Mm-hmm.
And as Jordan goes to get hit, he starts taking a swing, and fucking Achilles catches it, and the impact of it, that's 15 damage.
Okay.
Actually,
So-
that'll be altered. What is your specific defense? What is Achilles' defense?
A D12.
His defense is a 12?
A D12, yeah.
Fuck. Okay. So in which case, that is only 5 damage.
Nice. Love that.
God damn, son.
Since I have all the difficult mechanical question, he takes the damage. Does that proc my ability?
Oh, God damn it.
As Leah hits the hand, she pounces off, using it as a kickboard.
Yeah, I'll allow it because you have the ability to tally these reactions, because there's not really an arbitration in the mechanics for reactions. Tally these as one of your 2 actions. If you choose to use a reaction, just mark it against your turn for the round.
Okay.
But I'll still allow them in between. So yeah, if you want to go for that, go for it. Roll accuracy for me.
Okay. Which is now better, by the way.
Love that for
Okay,
you.
so it's intelligence plus range. Intelligence plus range. Sadly, I'm still dumb. Okay, that is. Unfortunately, I still rolled bad.
No.
It is-
Oh no. Oh no. can't fix that, unfortunately.
So my intelligence is a D4 plus a D12. Yes. So that is 8 minus 2 is 6.
Okay, so
She gets hit back out of the way.
No, not even that. Not even that much. Not even that much energy expended. She leaps forward, and the portion that she reaches towards just kind of incorporealizes, and she just flies right through and skids onto the end of one of these spider chrysanthemum edges of this platform, and kind of stands back up behind the anima at this point.
This is about how I play my characters, as I just sit in Achilles' hand, like defeated again.
Oh,
You poor guy.
It's like, Daiki, do you mind if I just stay here?
I'll just stay here, bud. It's
Nah,
okay.
man, you got this. Come on. Push on.
Top of the round will actually bring us to Daisuke.
So Stone Serious, completely in the zone right now. Daisuke just kind of says, "I'm going for the girl," and again we'll just breathe out a cloud of smoke, and I'll activate my second anima ability to just disappear.
Okay.
So I will completely disappear in this cloud of smoke and become invisible, me and shoot to kill. And my goal is to just basically run up, get as close as I can, and just grab the girl if I can. Just get her out away from the anima if I can.
Okay. So. For the activation of the ability, so 2 AP,
Got it.
Hold
I'm
out.
down to 9.
and then I'm gonna need you to roll. Let's make that a Dex plus Speed.
Okay. Okay. I can deal with that.
We're gonna do target 10.
Okay. Don't suck. Ah. Yeah, 11.
Very nice.
I
Okay.
rolled a 10 and a 1. Nice.
So
Wow.
you
You
vanish.
guys are so good at this game.
You vanish. There is a. You can almost hear just the amount of shadow as it kind of hulks over and immediately scans the area for you as it cannot find you, and you dash and just scoop the little girl up in your arms and move under its legs behind it.
Mhm.
So you'd be on the same side as this shadow.
Leah?
Yep, as a shadow anima, Jordan's
Ooh.
anima.
Cool.
amazing.
Got her. And then I guess at this point I just reappear just to let them know, like, yo, got her. You know, another quick cloud of smoke, and Daisuke just reappears on the other side next to Leah. Just, madam.
Yeah, it's a
Just
good
kinda like
conversation
hold
on
it
that the girl is now screaming.
Ah,
She
yeah,
is
just-
very concerned and also combat.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of like,
It's
kind of
good.
just like, shh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. We'll get you out of here. Don't worry, it's okay.
So that would be ability and movement. That'll bring us on to Risako.
Okay. So is the animus that was behind this little girl separated from it now?
So in the Mirage, you can actually move entirely separate of your anima.
Right.
You all have your own arbitrated movement speeds and things. The same is true for other anima users. So yes, I mean, he can move, he can walk away with the fucking girl, and the Shadow Demon's still going to persist there. It's going to try to follow, but they're not connected.
Right, okay.
Good enough.
Yeah, Risako's gonna like turn to the group and say, "Okay, we target this thing now, right?" And she'll just kind of nod as at Rosebud as her anima walks into like the center of the battle. A spotlight forms above her, and she like pulls out a compact and a tube of lipstick, kind of primping herself up. But she'll snap the compact close, go and blow a kiss straight towards the big shadowy guy, and like a big red heart will shoot straight towards it, dealing some sort of psychic damage to it
I
if
love
it
it.
actually hits.
I'm super about it. So go ahead and roll accuracy for me.
Okay.
On record, Daisuke is actively blushing right now, just like,
How come the Shadow Demon got the kiss?
killing you. Killing my cool right now.
I rolled 18 for accuracy.
Holy moly.
Okay,
Is
that'll
shoot
hit.
to kill also blushing?
I don't think it can. It doesn't have it only has an eye. It doesn't have cheeks necessarily. It just has
You
the
got
eye.
a -2, by the way, Risako.
Oh, okay, then whatever that was, -2. That's
Nah,
fine.
the decision's already been determined. That one was a success. Your next one will be at a -2.
Okay,
Curse.
that's fine.
So we're gonna make damage on this one. This is a weird one, but I'm gonna make this charisma plus
Oh, no.
range.
Okay, okay. This is fine. Everything's fine.
This is fine. This is fine. I can do this.
Um,
Wait, would it just be like her damage roll?
Yeah, this is a damage roll.
Oh, so it wouldn't just be like her normal damage roll?
No, so the damage roll is for the attacks. If you're doing, if your anima ability is not necessarily an attack, or if it's arbitrated away from like what you're doing, those could be different rolls.
Oh.
That's fine. Is there a plus or minus to anything with the damage, or is it just what I rolled?
I'll just give you proper nerdy's -2 that he threw at you.
Okay, then it would be 7 for damage.
7.
Mhm.
Okay. You watch, and you've all seen this before. She's used this ability. Normally, it's super effective. She, blows a kiss out towards the Shadow Demon, and before it even reaches it, you watch it just like wither and get siphoned, and it's just no effect.
Ooh,
Wow,
creepy.
unfortunate.
Mechanically, you did not beat its defense stat.
Okay,
Like, there was no damage taken for that.
okay. So that's my first action. Second action, Risako's going to pull out the med kit that was just found and toss it over to Jordan. Just say, heal up, buddy.
I'm gonna grab it and be like, I'm good for now, but I got it for you, Daiki.
Oh yeah, whoever needs it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like you see,
What
like
are you doing?
Daiki's like holding his chest in, like, yeah, it's fine, it's cool, I'm good.
Just
And he,
scoot
like,
that over to
lets
him.
it-
Sorry.
I mean, honestly, like, you see Achilles, he's got a crack across his chest.
He's fine.
Achilles can take it. Achilles not. We got it. We're good.
He's a big guy.
I hope so, because after Risako, the next turn is
no.
actually the Shadow.
Oh shit.
His initiative was a 13.
Fantabulous.
I rolled
So-
3. I deserve this.
That is what you were looking to beat for accuracy. If you can't functionally beat a 13 with your accuracy, you might want to look at something mechanically different to do with your turn.
I can do it.
But he's going to look out at you, or look out at Achilles specifically, and then turn and kind of glance back at the girl, trying to decide what to take care of here. And
Leah's literally right next to him, and he doesn't care.
Hey, I mean, I'm also right there. And I have the girl.
just saying, I'm not a threat. I mean, I should be, but
okay.
Daiki's 100% threat.
The threatiest
Every
threat,
picture I
actually.
take, I pose a threat.
The most threatening threat.
So one of his actions, this shadow demon's going to use an ability. And what you watch fall off of it or kind of float away from it are bubbles. But they are black and they're pearlescent and they're kind of flowing with smoke, kind of filling them. And there's probably like a dozen of them, and they're weighted in a way that as they kind of fall out and away from this monster, these bubbles kind of sit and rest about your guys' height, just kind of floating on the chrysanthemum surface. All kind of in and around you, some of which within melee range of any of you, some of which not, but there's just a whole bunch of fucking bubbles.
Creepy.
His second attack, or his second action, he is going to actually activate those straight off.
Oh,
Good.
shit.
And
Fantastic.
he
like
looks
it's a
at the four of
minefield.
you, and he snaps. And the physical wave that snap sends out, every one of these bubbles ignites and explodes.
Killer Queen bites the
good.
dust.
So that will be a 12 for accuracy. So Jordan and Daiki are getting hit by this one.
God.
Not the muscle bros.
And then, let's see. Damage-wise,
Oh no. Little numbers, please. Say like a 4, like a 3.
Yeah, like a 2 would be cool.
Two would be 1 would be preferred.
that's going to be 13 minus
That is a
your
lot higher
defense
than 1.
stat.
Oh my
13 minus
So-
defense.
Minus your
Minus-
defense.
So I have a 12, so D12, so that's a 1.
That is
Okay,
correct.
it worked. See, Turk took 1 damage. It all
Oh,
worked
shit.
out.
Yeah, so when we talk about Achilles being a tank, like,
I am a guardian.
yeah.
Works.
Sorry, how much are you taking, Jojo?
Oh, I took 9.
Ow.
Ow.
I would like to use my anima power.
No, stop it.
I have anima power, damn it!
Okay,
Ow.
this will be your second action for the round, so that'll clean house for Achilles being able to attack. But if you want to use it again, you may.
Can you take it?
Decision.
I can take it, but I don't know what your build is. Like, if you have a better use for an action, I'll take it. If you don't, then might as
I
well.
have the med kit, by the way.
Yeah, I have it. I'm gonna use my action for the med kit.
Okay, fine. You take the damage. You know
Alright.
you have the med kit.
Okay. So, after all of these bubbles explode, the girl kind of giggles a little bit at the sight of all the bubbles coming down, weirdly unfazed by the fact that you all are like kind of smoldering.
I'm still holding her, so I'm just like, I'm glad someone's having fun with this.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
they didn't seem to affect her. She's having a great time.
Come on, everyone, we can hold strong through this.
At least she won't get hurt by this. Let's get this.
All right, so that will bring us on to Jordan. You've used
Alright,
one of your
I have one-
reactions, so
Do I not have one more move, or?
It's
Jordan-
not your turn.
Your initiative was
I'm-
3. You're the last
I'm
of the round.
okay. I wasn't sure if Jordan. Was
I am going to use my action to use the med kit on Daiki instead of me.
But why?
You-
Because he's already taken more damage than I have, actually.
Really?
Because that
I have
that
taken 6 damage.
Yeah, he took
Never
5
mind.
the
That
first
I
one
thought
and
that
1
first
too.
hit did a lot more to you.
No,
It did a lot, but I have high
defense.
defense.
yeah, he
Yeah.
got swung with a 15 and a 13, and his defense just
Yeah,
cracked
I
him.
just did not fully comprehend that. So
Heal yourself, please.
Like, you've seen cracks in Achilles before. He'll be fine.
yeah, I'll heal myself.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That'll bring us on to Daiki in your last action then. Because Jordan, you
Okay.
had your reaction and then your item use.
Tell you what, Achilles is just gonna go full run mode and just try to overhand smack down and jump onto this thing.
Yeah, give him the slam down.
Chernobyl Alpha. So that's gonna be strength and defense +2 for accuracy, a 17.
Nice, that'll hit. Do some damage.
Okay, damage is going to be 8. 8 + 2 - 2.
Okay. Good Christ. This thing, Achilles, full swing, hammers down. He has a defense of 10. So once again, this full force gargantuan fucking statue goes straight through him. And the shadow demon just kind of looks down on Achilles, who's never had this problem before, admittedly.
It's just gonna steam out its shoulders and just square up in a defensive boxer stance as
Killgene boys. Okay.
Daiki does the same, just following up quickly after him, like, "Come on,
Are we
I
the
got
Attack Titan boys? I'm here for it.
It's 100% like squared up.
I love
steam
it.
Pour out.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's my second move, so I can't
Okay.
do anything else.
Gonna round us back to Daisuke.
All right, let's do this. I mean, at this point, I've got the girl, so I have the more important thing. So I'm gonna focus on blowing the shit out of this thing.
Get after it.
I'm gonna use my first anima ability. Can I do that twice? Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah, you have 2 actions.
I'm gonna shoot it twice
Go
then.
down.
So yeah, I guess looking at his fingers again, realizing he has like 7, I guess, charges of anima left, to just say, all right, well, not blowing them. I kind of just aim and just like close his eye and go, all right, locked on, and then takes his first shot. That's a D8 plus. Sorry, that's actually 2 D10s, as I have strength and power.
Damn, son.
-1 for my accuracy, so that's a 19.
That'll hit.
Okay, and now I'm gonna do damage, which is the same thing this time +1. Which, oh Jesus, I dropped one. Which is a 17.
Very nice. So for the
shit.
first time, this thing has finally been struck, and the energy that passes through it, it is an incorporeal shadow as far as anybody is concerned, and yet still, there is just this little quarter-sized dot in the full size of this thing that's just, there's no shadow there.
And I'm gonna aim a little bit lower, and I'm gonna do it again.
Take another shot. That would have been
That's 16 to hit.
16 will hit. What was your first damage? You said 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is +1 is, oh, another 17. Cool.
Damn.
17 again.
Hell yeah.
2 shots just buttoning him like Frosty the Snowman straight down the front of him. And he is very quickly turning towards your anima and recognizing the real threat of the room.
Hey, big guy. What's up?
Which, I don't know how well that sits with Achilles, but Shadow Demon is not paying attention.
Hey, listen, man, if you want to make him focus on you again, I'm happy for that. I have like 6 defense, so please.
Look at me! Come on! Where are you looking?
Hey, look at me! I'm big!
All right.
And that's
just
all I
like-
got. Again, just like turning to the girl and just going, we're getting you out of here, okay? Just stay calm.
What's gonna happen to my friend?
He's probably gonna die.
What? And the little girl starts sobbing.
Hey, I'm not good at this kind of thing, all right?
That's fair. Keeping the narrative. That's
I've
totally
got like
fine.
4 charisma. What do you want from me?
Risako, you're up.
Okay, seeing that the initial ability didn't really hit, Risako's just gonna point towards Rosebud and say, go ahead, you got this. And Rosebud will pull out the pistol again, in cool, like, super spy fashion, just huge bang goes off, like a shockwave comes from it, and she just kind of stands there all cool.
Very nice. Roll some accuracy for me.
Okay.
And expend that AP.
14?
14?
Yeah.
That'll hit.
Sick. Okay. And damage. Oh boy.
You got it, I believe.
14.
14. Very
Yeah.
nice. Okay. I actually
Doing
need to
damage.
Yeah, we are.
We tried punching the shadow. In reality, we should have tried shooting it.
Apparently.
It's actually one of its traits. It's incorporeal. We just didn't figure that out yet. But thanks to JoJo and Daiki, we now know that.
Now we figured it out. We just gotta keep shooting it, apparently.
So 3 shots, and this third one, as this shockwave emanates forward, you watch the shadow kind of dissipate a little bit, like you just moved the fog, and it's kind of trying to reform, but it definitely at this point is looking injured and having a harder time keeping itself together.
Okay.
It's also real pissed about it.
Yeah, Nigel is not happy in the process. That was my nice guess.
Let's see. I think for my second action, Risako is also going to dive her hand into her bag, pull out the lotus flower, and just kind of huck it over towards Daisuke and say, "You look like you're using a lot of your ability here. Go ahead and take that."
Oh, thank the heavens.
Okay. So, based on the narrative and the fact that I don't like...
I should also mention that there is like a very, very keen pal of pink on Daisuke's cheeks right now. It's just as he catches it, it's just like... Oh, God.
Oh my God.
She just gave you a flower.
Cute!
So good.
Shut up, Key!
So, if you would... I don't know if you want to use that item, but
I am gonna hold it because I have a plan for my next turn. I'm gonna hold it for now.
Okay. Because technically you have Risako. Anytime you guys use an item as an action, like passing the item forward, I would imagine you have the option of using it in that without expending like one of Daisuke's options to use it.
Mhm.
I'm
if
gonna
you're
hold
holding
it,
on to
not
it.
use it yet, not because I can't, but specifically because I have a plan for it, and I need for the narrative to include using the item. Don't worry.
Stellar.
We'll
Way
get to
down. All right, that will bring us on to our shadow
Monster.
friend. Yep. So, unable to recorporeal itself in the same form that it did, it recognizes, as far as it is concerned, the most powerful form in the room. And as the smoke kind of fades and warps and stuff, you watch it put itself back together as a shadow reflection of Daisuke's anima, but probably twice the height because of just the massive shadow that exists. And it points the same kind of gun straight down at your anima.
Oh my.
And is going to pull that trigger in the same fashion you did twice.
You see the little girl look up at you, bang, bang.
Oh, Joy.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please don't let her do that.
Can I attempt to get in the way of that? Being up in its face?
I mean, let him shoot it first. I got pretty high for my initiative, so
True.
So-
You did.
you don't miss.
I literally just closed the book on the monster. I'm like, I need to roll accuracy, and I didn't pay attention.
It's
Give me a
okay. You
moment.
thought about it. That's all that matters.
It was, yeah.
The monsters
was
in the
effort.
book, like we could have prepped for this?
Yeah, they're all right
I've
here.
been prepping for things, dude.
I mean, sort of. This is not in the book, but it's kind of in the book. I'm using a stat block, but I'm not using the actual abilities of. I've written different abilities. The first one, Daisuke, is a 14.
And I rolled a 15 for
You
initiative.
did indeed. That's a
So
miss.
so it missed.
The second one,
Lock on my booty.
Yeah, you forgot.
Like, no, like lock on, comma.
You copied one part
like-
of my ability. You
Yeah.
forgot about the other. Now, like you want like a 27 to hit me now, like just because I talked shit.
so That one was exactly a 15.
Oh, well, unfortunate. I'm hit.
Yep. What's your
What's the-
defense?
Not good. I'm pretty sure it's 4. It's 4.
Okay, we're gonna hope that Daiki wants to take one of those. You said
I
you
would
want
love to
attempt
take
it?
one.
Okay, I would like you to roll for this, because it's literally being shot out of a gun. I'm gonna need you to roll your accuracy against its damage that it just tried to dish, which is a 16.
Okay. I'll tell you right now, I rolled a 6 and a 7, which is 13 plus 2 is a 15.
15.
Curses. Very
Which
close.
is, yeah. Oh god, that was so close. So you
Well-
like Achilles leaped forward, goes to take it out of the way, and
There goes
your anima
my
just
hero.
gets slammed. 16 minus 4. You're gonna take 12 damage straight from that.
Coolio. It's all right. This is all working perfectly. I'm not actually worried, by the way.
No,
course
totally
not.
not worried. We're
I'm like
fine.
holding up the empty like medkit box as I like put the bandages on myself.
He's just like, oh fuck, I could have used this for something
But yeah,
else.
it's like shoot to kill like reels, and like for the first time you kind of hear like a weird like groaning sound from it. You've never heard it make sound before, and then like you see kind of Daisuke kind of like huddle over a bit and like cough a bit of blood out and just goes. So that's what that feels like.
Yeah, because shoot to kill is the one who got shot.
Yeah,
The hole is in him, but you are feeling all of it.
yeah. So he just kind of like coughs a bit of blood, just like, oh, so that's what that feels like.
All right,
Fair enough.
Jordan, you're up.
Okay.
Heard it more.
I have a plan.
I like plans.
I like
So-
that too.
For my first action, I'm going to, as Jordan, who is like where the original group was because I was caught by Achilles before he ran in. So I am going to move just a little bit over to Daisuke to like retrieve the girl from the person being shot at.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
movement's
like-
one action.
Would it be another to like grab or help or?
No, I'll give you like the
Okay.
get to and get the kid. Like that's
Yeah.
fine.
And I'm
That's
gonna be like,
fun.
you're doing great. I just don't want her shot at. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
like,
take her.
you know,
And, like, there's a very like as like Daisuke kind of just like, yeah, you take her, and like there's a very very strange glint in his eye as he's like saying it's like, yeah, you take her.
and like as like you know, speech is a free action. I'm gonna be like, no. So your friend has been hurting a lot of people. So we're gonna try to save him, but there's a chance that he might hurt more people. So and I'm gonna try to be like really like, you know, gentle giant, like just like comforting, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna turn and like look with like the rage in my eyes at Leah, and I'm gonna use her first action of Purifying Flames as an attack on.
Okay.
Oh, it might hurt more people. Daisuke just coughs like like me. Oh god.
Yeah, and then so Leah is using her ability on the monster.
Okay. Roll accuracy for the attack. Facing
So,
your anima.
I got this. I'm gonna do it this time. I'm gonna do it right.
Believe.
I'm gonna hit. I have a +2. I'm gonna use it. I'm
Got
saying
it.
it now.
Got it.
So, I just flipped over my note sheet, which had
You
how
just
it
gotta
would do.
believe.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Range is D12. 15 minus 2 is 13.
13 is its initiative, so that
Go!
is a
Get
success.
some!
Wait, sorry, it doesn't minus 2. Sorry.
Right, because you're +2 from
15.
chat, so it would just be,
Yeah.
be flat
15.
15. So yeah, yeah.
That's a success. Take some damage. Roll some damage.
Okay. Intelligence plus range. Same thing. Can I use something other than my intelligence since it's my ability?
Explain to me what Purifying Flame does.
So to me, it's like, so it is a flame that either it's like Leah's inner rage, so it either frees like an ally that she's like protecting,
Okay.
or it burns someone who has harmed someone.
Okay.
So like as like her flames burn around her as like her power increases and she takes an attack.
instead of, and which is the one that you want to switch out as far as your stats for this?
Jordan's intelligence.
Okay, so we're switching out intelligence. We're going to adjust that then to... We're going to adjust that to strength, making the argument on willpower for the sake of kind of this clerical rage in protection of this kid.
Okay, the second one's cocked, so I'm gonna re-roll it. But it would have been bad if it wasn't cocked. So 12.
12. Okay, so still damage. That's good.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but it counts every little bit.
Well, it was like crooked on my desk and it was a 1, and I was like, thank goodness that is cocked, because I was gonna cry.
Yeah.
On a D12, like a 1, I would have cried.
Oh no, we don't want
would've been
that.
real bad. And anytime you roll junctions, you can actually critical fail those. So.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Big bad.
You can't roll them against single stat rolls, but double stat rolls you can real fuck up. All right. Well, so a little bit of damage done as she's just pissed off, and you are in protection of this child, and flames erupt around the base of the mirror image of Shoot to Kill facing down on all of you, and you can watch the light of this fire kind of dissipate the shadow from the bottom torso of it, so it almost looks like just the top half of Shoot to Kill just kind of floating above this flame. And that will bring us on to Daiki.
That guy.
It'd be me. So after failing and jumping and like trying to get across, it's Achilles is gonna get up, Daiki running over after it and reaching out to Daisuke, and like both him and Achilles touch him at the same time. This giant finger with a golden fingertip touch you, and the gold in the fingertip rushes around Shoot to Kill's body. And I'm going to use my second ability to repair wounds with golden material. Go further in the light.
Okay, so anytime you make a check against a friend in an allied, in a helpful way like that with an anima ability, you're still going to roll accuracy against your friend there.
Okay, that's going to be an 8 and an 8 for
That's a success.
plus 2, so 18 total.
Okay.
There it is.
I'm gonna make this. Let me see. There is a rule on this. Let me find it real quick.
For like healing?
Yep.
I just saw it actually. I totally like passed it in the book. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
I just got it up too.
So you're gonna roll a standard damage check for Achilles, and then that amount is what he will take in healing.
Okay, I got a 10 and a 5. It says 13 healing.
Oh, that's actually, I'm back to full health then.
It's
Fuck
crazy.
yeah.
That's good.
Cool. Hell yeah. I love that. Thanks.
Damn.
So, yeah, kind of like taking it in and like looking at he looks up like that. He kind of looks up like sees Shoot to Kill kind of like get infused with gold to heal up. He kind of turns back and just like fist bumps Daiki. Just appreciate it.
Of course, man. So that's one move, yeah?
Yep, that's one.
Do it.
I would like to have him make a second go at hitting this fella.
Okay, take a swing.
That is not as good.
Oh no.
That's a 9.
No.
Okay. You do this like entirely altruistic, like the creation of man kind of like finger touch towards like
Touch.
Shoot to Kill.
Yeah,
Heal him
100%.
fully, and then just anger face, yeah. Boom! Totally misses him. Just whiffs straight through him.
Well, he's still gonna position like crouched, like boxer position again, between Shoot to Kill and bigger Shoot to Kill.
Okay, good. I will make note of that if he decides to shoot to kill.
That's why I named it that. Speaking of which, doesn't that make it me?
That is you.
All right, GM. I hope you're ready to rock, because I'm ready to roll if you're ready to rock with me.
Do
So,
some
a couple of
damage,
things are about to happen.
shots.
The first thing that's going to happen is having the lotus flower in his right hand, Daisuke will kind of just like crush it to activate it to refill his AP. And like kind of just like cracks his shoulders. I really hate having my gig stolen. And so as I get all of my AP back, I am going to ask for something that I'm pretty sure probably isn't in the rule book, but because we're going for the maximum amount of anime, I'm going to hope you let me do this.
Bring it on. What do we got?
I know my first ability, the shooting, costs 1 AP.
Yep.
Can I burn multiple AP for a bigger shot?
What's your die for what are your damage die?
My damage die are strength and power.
Strength and power, and what are those dice?
Both, strength is a D12, power's a 10.
Power's a 10?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the game.
What's up?
So, I'll let you burn as many AP as you like towards this on the contingency that every AP burned means you're reducing those by a die size. So you're getting multiple dice. You're rolling a fuck ton of dice, but you're whittling down the damage of each shot.
And I'm back to full AP, right? Because of the lotus. Cool. I'm burning them all.
How many you got?
12.
12. Okay.
Sorry, not 12. 20 actually, because I took my level 12 upgrade was to upgrade my my thing from my initial 16 to one higher.
Right.
So,
okay.
I'm gonna burn all of them.
So, how this is gonna function then? You're gonna roll accuracy. You are spray and pray right now. What I want you to do is give me an accuracy roll. You're gonna minus let's make this one -4. Doesn't mean you're gonna miss, but we're gonna toss this one as -4.
Okay. Here we go. All right, I need big numbers. I need big numbers on these dice here. I got 2d10s. Come on. 9 out of 10. Let's go.
Okay, very good. So now, go ahead and give me.
Do I have enough dice for this?
Pairing. Yeah. So roll me 20d4.
Oh, I don't. You could have said d6s.
That's the smallest dice. That would have whittled it down that way.
All right, that's fine. All right, I'm gonna start this up then. So here we go. I got at least 7.
Our Google extension
I'm gonna roll
for
these
this.
in batches. Play my theme music, folks. We're going in. All right. So that's 1. Here we go. I'm gonna count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 13 out of the first 7.
Okay.
So comes 7 more. 13 plus 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 out of that volley.
You just got +2 from chat. I don't know if we want to use that
Oh,
now
cool.
or later.
So 24.
Yeah.
And here's the last 3. So 24 plus 3 more d4s. And those 3 all rolled 4s.
So
So
shoot to kill's pistols turn into the big sniper rifle he pulls out.
Do you mind if I flavor this?
Oh yeah,
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, how do you want to do
assuming.
this?
Oh yeah, so again, just like looking very, very much like more like enraged and focused than last. Daisuke kind of crushes the lotus flower in his hand, looks over at Daiki, kind of just nods at him, like appreciating the healing. Kind of like cocks back again, but this time normally kind of like aims with one hand. This time he's holding his hand, and like this is like flare of energy behind shoot to kill as like this like wash of power kind of shoots out behind the rifle, and Daisuke kind of just cocks and aims, just like, this thing's pissing me off. And then where normally the bang is very, very low, like Daisuke says a very, very calm voice, this time it's almost like an echo. You can all hear very just defiantly, bang, and like just a huge hole rips open in the middle of this thing.
Okay, so we've already established up to this point that the purifying flame underneath it has kind of dissipated the the leg mass of the shadow creature, and then you look upon your anima counterpart up there shooting down at you and your friends, and shoot to kill. Big fucking energy just cast straight towards this shadow demon, enough to collapse the final majority of the chest cavity of any kind of darkness, leaving just kind of tendrils of smoke where the arms were and like the portion of the head was, as they kind of just have nothing to hold them apart, and they kind of just dissipate like smoke would have normally. Physics kind of actually doing its job there. It takes a minute before things kind of shift and you get that glitch again a little bit before, and the little girl is like wide-eyed, and she looks at the four of you and she's like, where am I? Where's Grandpa?
Grandpa?
Were you just with your grandpa?
Is he a doctor?
I don't know. Grandpa went. We went to the beach, and I haven't seen him since.
We'll help you find your grandpa. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Name's Daiki. You can come whenever you want, but we're gonna get you out of here, all right? Meet Achilles.
Like, hi, where are we?
You know, that's just kind of like very, very much like huffing in exertion at this point. That's an incredibly long story. Let's just get you out of here first, and then we'll cover that.
So, question.
Yes.
Love being this guy. On terms of like anime theme, emphasizing our abilities, you know, Purifying Flame is meant to cleanse. Is there a chance that now that we've defeated this enemy, there's a good anima underneath that could be cleansed or restored from, like, her friend could be pulled out of the evil guy?
What you gathered from this, and I like the line that you're traveling.
Yeah.
What you gathered from this is this
was some like manipulation, it seems.
Yeah, this anima kind of was managing her for the sake of almost a parasitic relationship with the material realm. So the whole time that she's been down here, her perception of it being a friend was due to the anima. She really doesn't even pay attention to the concept of this shadow demon now that it's gone.
Yeah, that was my guess as well, that I was using her for something. That was
yeah.
In that case, as Leah walks back to me from where it was, she looks down, lets out that like large animal like lion, just like deep breath, like, and then just keeps walking. Like steps on it or whatever's left of it and keeps walking.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Shoot to kill kind of like its one eye kind of like rotates down to look at Daisuke, just kind of goes, yeah, get out of here. And it's like, you know, it disappears again in that like huff of white smoke.
Okay.
Like he kind of like looks at the little girl and goes, he's shy, don't mind him.
And you watch as you guys do this, because the mirage is a reflection of ongoing conflict and kind of these breaks in reality that continue to cause more and more issues. Anytime you resolve the major conflict within these, you look up into the open sky of the mirage and it kind of starts to peel, revealing almost like dev space behind it of just like pure white nothing, as you guys are kind of engulfed in this before you return back to the point that the little girl was lost, which is the edge of the wood on the far eastern side of the Deseret beachfront.
As like I was sitting kneeling next to her and I look back at the group, you think the crazy guy at the beach might have been her grandpa?
You know, that was my guess.
Probably.
Let's get her back, man. Hey, you want to go get your grandpa?
Do you know where he is? You met my grandpa?
I think
Yeah,
he's
we
still
got a
by
good-
the beach. I think he's still by the beach. Yeah.
Got a good guess, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like she's like clambering off of whoever is holding her.
All right,
and
deep breath, little one, relax.
As soon as she hits
Hey,
the
I took
sand,
her. She's mine
You're
now.
right.
Get off.
going.
She's my friend
Yeah,
now.
Sorry.
Daiki is just running with
Oh,
her.
shit.
Not trying to like stop her, just like running like at her pace.
Yep. And
I'm
in
like-
this-
Daisuke isn't one to run. He just kind of like hands in his pockets, just like, and like kind of like begins to walk behind the group. Probably walking next to like the rest of whoever didn't run after her.
yeah, you guys proceed forward and as you guys get to kind of the center of the beach, because nobody's out here at this point. Like, you don't know how long you've been gone, but usually it's not very long, and nobody knows that there's been any kind of resolution. So the beach is empty for still fear of public transmission, except for one man standing in the center of the ocean, just staring at kind of the drop of dusk off in the distance against the ocean horizon. And it is this little girl's grandfather, as she starts just like elated, like screaming and jumping, and grandpa, and she's waving and stuff. And the first look on his face is horror, seeing this little girl, and he doesn't understand what's happening, but he stops and he kneels and he picks her up, and it takes a minute for him to talk to her and things as you guys kind of all approach. And he looks at the four of you and he's like, I don't know how I know that this is my granddaughter, but thank you for whatever you did. I haven't seen her in long enough that I can only assume that the people following behind her are either helpful or they're ready to take her away. But this is...
Dude, we aren't gonna touch. It's all yours, my man.
One more day on the job, dude.
How
What we do?
long's she been gone?
6 years. She should be 17 by now.
You know, I was
And
thinking.
I don't know
Makes-
how
makes
she
sense.
still has the time, but that's another 6 years that I get with her. So, thank you. And he kind of just starts sobbing, and he takes the girl and it continues to walk off. And it's as the sun sets against the Deserin beach, and you all have feasibly another couple of days with the resolution of this life siphoning that was being tithed by the shadow animus that was holding everything together parasitically. You have resolved an affliction and returned a child rightfully to where she belonged. And that is the end of our incursion into Overarms.
Woo!
Like looking towards everyone and immediately looking away and just like wiping away tears. Like
Yeah,
I'm the quiet,
Daisuke would-
emotionless jock. I don't
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, Daisuke would probably honestly just kind of like, after they kind of like have their moment of reunion, he kind of just like wordlessly turns and begins to walk away. Probably has some stuff on his mind. I mean, it's kind of hard seeing like a little girl like in like their have like their resolution when he still has like problems with his sister going on. So he's kind of like just like happy for them, but just like, you know, this kind of sucks a bit. I wish I could have like the same feeling for myself. So kind of like turns and walks away a bit, a little dejected, I guess.
Well, shit. They're both being emotional as shit. Reese, you want to go get like a sandwich or something? I don't know.
Maybe not at that sandwich place, but
No. Yo,
I saw that
okay.
there was a taco place around the corner.
Tacos.
Tacos. Daisuke, tacos.
You know, I can't turn down tacos. Let's do it.
A perfect end to a hell of a fucking session, guys. Thanks
Oh,
so
I
much.
fucking love this game, dudes. What the fuck?
It's
so
Oh my
cool.
god!
This happens to us every time. We're like, why is
I
this a
know.
one shot?
Why is this so much fun? What the fuck?
The curse of Top Shelf, just running all of the coolest systems as a one shot and then being like,
Oh
I
yeah.
want more.
Now you
Oh
know
my
my
God,
curse,
everything
because
about this is so
that's
much
yeah,
fun.
that's my life.
Oh,
it's
dude,
so good.
this was so wild. This was, oh man, just like the descriptions and like the power use and fuck, man, I don't know what else to say. This is really fun. Like, this was mind-bendingly fun. Like, oh man.
I'm so glad that I have you had you level up like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
before
same.
this,
Yeah.
so you
I
had
was
a
glad we
little
got
bit
Was
to
more
he
to
gonna
play
be
with.
that
First level.
dangerous before we leveled up?
Well, okay. Everybody at home, if you ever want a secret into the top shelf, at least for this particular session, I had no concept of any of the enemies that I was gonna throw out. I had no combat encounters mapped. I was picking things because none of us know how to play the game. None of us have played before. We've read the book, and part of the whole goal of the top shelf is we're going to jump into it and we're going to talk about it from a new perspective. So part of the way that I've started adapting these is I don't start formulating combat encounters in my head until a little ways into the game when I understand how the numbers work. Because now I've started rolling, now I get how these go. So I actually got a good gauge on how you guys were danger-wise to like what the rolls were looking like and how difficult things were before I built those two combat encounters you got in. Those were both fabricated on the intermission while you guys were grabbing drinks and things, and I was like, okay, good, we're good. Then I throw back into it. That's how a lot of these go, because I want to make sure that things flow according to how we are adapting to a new system.
Right.
I had no idea how much damage you guys were gonna fucking do.
Mini spoiler alert. That first hit left me 1 hit point from dead. So
Ah, no.
in the non-existent episode 2, there's some roleplay unpacking there of being saved
Achilles.
completely.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Achilles being the broest bro, keeping both of us alive. Because yeah, I didn't think I was gonna be able to handle a second shot. I had like 8 health left. I was
It took me a second to figure out how that damage worked, because he took less than half of what I was gonna take.
Got good defense.
So like
Got the
I was
highest
like, you took
defense.
15 damage from me. I'm gonna heal you. No, he didn't.
Yeah, no, Achilles being like the most clutch, like literally doing the defender job.
Oh yeah.
Primo, top shelf, well
So
done,
good.
much appreciated.
That's a hell of a skill too, because it's so for anybody who doesn't play, and we're starting to get into conversational stuff here. I'm gonna kill the
sorry.
music, and we're gonna no, it's good.
Yeah,
It's
no,
good.
let's.
I'm gonna
Got
kill
it.
the music, and we're gonna kind of transition into some
Yeah,
mechanics
that's what we're here for.
conversations and stuff.
Sure.
Mhm.
One of the most interesting things to me about this game is you build 2 sets of stats, one
Mhm.
for your anima, one for your user. You have a set of dice, and between the D4 and the D12, you just pick which stat is most important to you, and you set that dice on it, basically.
Mhm.
That's how you start a character. And then your ability for your anima, there's no rules on that.
Nope.
You just say narrate and describe your first ability, and you write it down, and then that's how that's arbitrated. So the fact that these guys all managed to make gloriously colorful, very unique individuals between the 4 animas that y'all built, and that they all ended up as good as they did, is fucking phenomenal. Like, I'm so pleased with all of that.
Yeah, just like the breadth of like differences in like abilities we got to see was
Oh, yeah.
really fun. Like so many different like unique ways to like. I feel like we got a great grasp of like the kind of uniqueness you can have in this game. Where like we had the huge tanky defender's abilities are mostly focused on transferring damage or saving people, and that's an entirely emergent gameplay. Like it's not like Turk said like, oh yeah, the book has this rules for like absorbing damage. I'm gonna take that and then like have this power. He just kind of
I'm just
came
like,
up with that ability.
I was just like, he's a big marble statue. He takes the cracks and breaking wrist for you. Yeah. It was
Yeah, it worked out really fun. And I feel like we had again just like because we saw everything from like a literal depiction of like a Greek statuesque with like a steampunk mix to like this super cool like lioness cat hunter kind of aesthetic to like the like epitome of like 1920s spy to like I'll be honest, I was looking at a bunch of like really weird, like macabre, like horror sci-fi art, and I saw this one cool like sniper guy. I was like mostly skeletal with like a big sniper left arm, and I'm like, that
Cool.
I think I want
Yeah.
that. So that was kind of just how that one went down. But yeah, I thought we got to see like a really fun mix of powers from people. And I was really
And like
all the different
you
things.
building your character got me as like I love building things like outside what's expected, and I definitely limit tested that and did it completely wrong.
Yeah,
But
I
that
was so
was-
confused because I was so when
Because
you
I was like,
create
if
your
you
anima,
could do
you
it that easily, like I could do it the other way. No, close quarter magician is very tricky to do, at
Yeah,
least
I should've- I
without all
should've
the proper
specified in that.
tools.
Yeah, I should have specified that the reason I specifically chose fighter was that I knew that even though I had long range, it wouldn't directly affect my
Mhm.
combat stats.
Yeah, I just
Uh,
didn't have quite as much understanding about the technicalities there.
Yeah, that
So
was,
it
just,
was-
that always came from like I like read over that paragraph like 6 or 7 times, and because so in the description where it says like the different classes of anima, it describes them and kind of like says like a bit like a blurb about like which stats are good for them. And under fighter,
Yeah.
which I took for Daisuke and for shoot to kill, it says fighters are good for anima that have really high power but low range, and the 2 stats you use for accuracy and for damage are your strength and your power. And in this game, it specifies that strength isn't just like how physically strong you are; it's also how good your character is at like scaring people off. And Daisuke being like the angry, annoying delinquent, I figured would be the kind of person where he's like very intimidating, the kind of person people wouldn't want to be around. So I had him take strength as his highest stat. So I had super high strength and super high power. I just also had really high range. And I was like, I can't, like, there's nowhere in the game it's like specifically saying outside of like, hey, if you need to know like what your range for your power is, it's your range stat is like 1 is every 3 meters. Outside of it saying that, it never said what you really use range for. So I was like, I guess I'll just see if this hamstrings me at all. And I guess I was lucky that it didn't really work out. But I like that. And that, like, even though I picked a fighter, I wasn't locked into building like a melee focused anima, I can still flavor it the way I wanted to.
Oh yeah, I think it was a lot more versatile than I was anticipating it being in the best way. Because I was worried that it was going to be one of 2 things. It was going to be like not quite enough, or like game breaking and not being able to arbitrate the in between. And I think it was far easier to fall into a perfect space than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
The one thing that I noticed that was interesting too is that oh, good God, thank you for the fact that just disappeared. When it comes to like versatility of stats and things, range is entirely arbitrated towards distance, but nobody really says what kind of weapons the anima have to have or could have or couldn't have. Like, in theory, there's nothing stopping an anima to be described as one thing to narratively have the ability to use that at full range or melee. Like, just because Achilles had, as a big statue with fists and stuff, doesn't mean that if he didn't, like, just fist forward, you could just unlock it and shoot it out at, like, full distance range. Like, nothing says that you can't.
Yeah.
And there's no rules that are like, you have to have that as a skill. It's just there as your basic attack feels strange in this game because it feels so varied when it comes to the anima and like what an anima can do as an attack. And
so
then you
Achilles'
have your
third ability
abilities.
is rocket fists, right? We've all decided that.
Achilles' third ability would probably be like trying to either I don't know. I'm trying to build him around a theme of like
I feel like it could be
self-perfection.
had some kind of like Paragon mode wherein like you basically kind of like reinforce yourself, almost like for a brief bit you like restore yourself to your full like marble purity and like gain a bunch of strength for a bit, like something.
It would either be that or like a armor cast off full golden skeletal frame underneath.
That's cool.
That would be cool. I like both of those. Yeah.
I was trying to build it into my character. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, we came up with a second. I actually didn't even know we were going to be higher than first level until literally hopping in the pre-call for this. Like, they were like, hey, level up. And I was like, oh, okay.
Which, I mean, fuck, like, that's super cool, too. The fact that I was looking at it and I realized how easy it was to level people, and I'm like, nah, let's do 4. We've already narratively established that you guys have dealt with this stuff before. So, like,
oh, yeah. Leveling is so simple in this game.
Yeah, it's like level 2, you get to up your user, one of your user stats, and you just go for, like, my charisma was a D4, now I'm going to swap it out for a D6. And then you just get to bump things, and then after every once in a while you get a new anima ability, and those are narratively described. There's no big heavy mechanics that are weighing those down. You get to pick how you want to create this grand fucking adventure with all of your friends, and it's really cool that there's not a whole lot of crunch behind it to hold it
definitely
together,
a
but it
system
still works really well.
It was that was kind of why I ended up going for the thing I went for it towards the end of the boss fight there, because I was like, the system feels really, really loose. Like there's a lot of room to kind of have fun with it. And so I was like, you know what? I want to see what it's like when like you just have one of those moments where like a player says something really out there and the GM goes, yeah, okay, let's do it. And so I was like, I want to propose the most wildly out there thing possible. And then right after I thought that, Risako threw me the lotus flower, and I was like, okay, this is working narratively. And then I got shot by my own anima, and I was like, okay, this is working narratively. And then I got healed by Achilles, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. This all lined up there perfectly for me to do this thing, so I'm gonna do it. And I don't know, I like that about the system. Like I was actually talking about this earlier when I was because right before this I DM'd a D&D 5th edition campaign. And I was talking about players there about how I really enjoy bending D&D's rules because it feels like I'm personally stepping on Gygax's grave, and I feel really good about that personally in my soul. But that's a different thing. So, but I also just really enjoy a system where it's not so much about like, oh yeah, the rule book narrates that I have to do this, 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 and this. Like, I like where it's like, hey, you know what? I think it makes sense if we just roll it this way. And like, it's conversational between like your player group. You can have very, very unique game experiences. And that kind of lets you tailor the game more to what you want. Like, there is definitely a version of this game that's more like focused on specifically what the rules say you can do. It's much more like noir, kind of like soft magic-y almost. But then there's a version of this that is what we play, which is just like balls to the walls anime, shonen moments,
big anime.
ups.
Yep.
Like, and I think like that's so great that a system is that open where you could have this one system work for very, very different groups. It's like what D&D tries to be and fails horrendously.
Yeah, D&D is very rigid in what it is.
It's very
D&D's a
stuck
combat
in
game.
its,
It's all about
stuck in its war game roots.
Yeah, D&D is about rolling dice and killing things. That's it. It's really that straightforward. It's not really built for much else. So a system where it's like the game is, it's not even so much built for this. It's almost like the lack of structure, the openness of the book lets you have all these extra things to it. Like I don't know. I like, and even like we didn't even get to talk about it much, but like the rules for like social status and like how you make money are also very, very open. And if like I could see if we were doing this as a campaign, those could be individual plot hooks that, how does each of our characters make money on their off time? What do we do when we don't have a school day? Like all those things are open and not arbitrated. Like there's no like, oh, if you're gonna do downtime, roll on this downtime table to see what happens. And it's just very much like, hey, what do you do? How much money do you make? And what does that look like for you? And you just
Here are the rules.
Exactly. It's so I like that. Like I like systems like that. So I can see
Screw the
like a
rules.
mini campaign. We can have a lot of fun, which is like
screw the rules. I chose. My character is rich. That's 40 GP a day.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I love that. There's no like, oh, well, you got to take this background to be this wealthy. Just like, hey, is your character rich? Are they a middle class? Are they kind of poor? You just whatever you want to do. And like it's just again, it's like a system that encourages like you getting to have your play, like your class, like your player fantasy, like from the moment you create the character you want from jump. It's not like building up towards the character you want. Like from level one, you have an incredible amount of like personal input on the way your character and your anima and your power manifests.
Like straight from the Shonen Jump, yeah.
Literally, like just from literally from the Shonen Jump.
Yeah, no, and it's true too. Like the fact that the only difference between these guys and somebody starting out at the very base of this game is 2 changes in die size and 1 anima ability. But realistically, we could have done that whole session. It would have just been as narratively fucking cool without those 3 additions, and there would have been very little change. Like you still have such a cool pool of stuff to pull from right at the very beginning. It's a good system for one-shots. But while I was playing, I discovered something different. And tell me if y'all agree with this. Because this feels like... actually, I'm going to use this tangent to get into it. Because one of the things that I really enjoyed about this is the item pages. They've got clear-cut prices on all of the stuff listed as... just like 20G, which I'm gonna play with in the Final Fantasy space, is calling it all Gil. But
of course.
But we have like bandages, medicine, pain relievers, whatever. They all do different things, but they're not based on die rolls. At least the vast majority of all of these are not. they're based on individual numbers. Like bandages, 20 gil restore 2 HP to a user or an ally. The fact that there is no die rolls to those mean that you can do in your head a lot of distance mapping as far as what you have and what you guys can withstand, which
Mhm.
means this game would be fucking awesome for a mega dungeon.
Oh my
Like,
god.
can you imagine like a mini campaign in a Mirage dungeon that lasted like 3 or 4 sessions, and you just got stuck in it and had to survive like various combats and like manage your AP? Because we never touched on it even in this campaign here, but your players all have weapons. They
Yeah.
get
Mhm.
a punch with brass knuckles or have a pistol or have a dagger or something. Like, they get to do their own damage and hold their own, anima aside. So, like, once the anima gets brought into it, you're then converting these AP points to do some hella damage, because your guys' damage output was ridiculous compared to, like, the damage or the danger of some of the creatures in here. Because it was all anima abilities and you're
Right.
burning these AP points, which means the AP is... I feel like in a normal session where y'all had guns and not been on spring break and are like a pistol or brass knuckles and stuff, and you're using those, you could really draw out those AP points
Mhm.
and spend a number of days just through a complicated, crazy dungeon labyrinth of all kinds of stuff. And you
Oh,
can
yeah,
get
no question.
really easy into dungeon delving in this, and I did not anticipate that when I got into the game. I was not expecting things to be so mechanically sound that I could be like, nah, I want to run like a week-long mega dungeon. This is going to be
Yeah,
cool as
it's-
hell.
It's
Like,
actually it's amazing, and I keep pestering JK about it to talk about it more after we have time after this, and I feel even more strongly about it having now run this, and I knew this would happen after I having played this, but I've been talking for the past like 2 or 3 weeks nonstop about writing a Digimon hack for this, like a hack for this system to play in like a Digimon style setting with like a split character blocks, like one for
oh yeah.
Justin and one for the Digimon, and like a one player takes each block. And like I'm still kind of concepting it out in my head, but the openness of the system and the way it's so very, very narrative leaning and so very, very, it's almost designed to be like to maximize the amount of liberty and narrative freedom you can have while limiting how much overt thinking you have to do, even like
Yeah.
down to the items. Like again, if you have water, you know, you can get 2 AP back whenever you want. It's very simple. There's no dice rolling. There's no, I got some water, I drink it, I got 2 AP back. Boom, simple, no problem. So because the system is so easy, not only is tweaking it really easy, but like writing very system neutral things in it could be really, really easy and fun. And so I am super hyped to maybe like tomorrow or like the next day, just like sit with this book and like tear it apart and just see what I can do with this to make it like work with that. But it's I think this system is perfect for mini campaigns, whether it's like a mega dungeon or just like even a more narratively leaned mini campaign. I think this system is great for it because like it's just crunchy enough to allow for like narrative seeds to exist, but just open enough to let the players have complete agency over those narrative seeds, which I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
Continuing with this, I totally agree with like all those points, especially because like it felt like we had so many like good interactions with our characters that I like we had like little ideas of, you know, dynamics or themes, but there was so much more that was going on that like I want to unpack it all and we just don't have enough time for it.
Oh yeah, there's
But,
like we have like entire backstories and like relationships with each other. Like there's a lot of things we like talked about in the background of this that like never came to light because it's a one shot. It's kind of how that happens. But like yeah, they're like there's so much like I think don't 2 of us have crushes on 2 other of us? I'm pretty sure we decided that was the thing that we have happening. Like
who knows? But
yeah, there was a
tossing
lot
back
of mess
to
going on. Like there was a lot of like teenage angst going on in the background that we could have played around and like it like I don't know. It just reminds me of like a system that I would love to like run like a just like a 5 or 6 session like you know weekly mini campaign and just like gather your best friends every Friday. You guys meet and play this for like 3 hours. Just to, like get out your like Saturday morning cartoon like feels and like I don't know. I would love this. Like I don't know. It just seems so fun to me.
tossing back to the previous point for just a minute because I didn't want to interrupt so early on in your tangent.
No, you're
But-
good. Daisuke is full of energy right now.
How simply the leveling works and like how accessible it is. One, if we were just level 1 instead of level 4, I literally just would have not wasted my second ability twice and not done anything with it. 2 times it failed. But beyond that, like I overcomplicated my theme, which is what made it complicated, but like as soon as we were like working with the system, it all made sense. like I got how things worked. Maybe I need a few reminders, but like it was very accessible as soon as I clarified my few mistakes while I was reading the book.
I find that is true for a lot of these systems. There are a lot of times where I look at a game and I don't quite understand the whole of it until I get into it. So my brain stopped kind of judging a system before I'm 20 minutes in, because it does not take long for a lot of these indie games before it just clicks and then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's really something that I was not anticipating it being as accessible as it was. Like, 2 stat trees by itself feels overcomplicated and unnecessary, but they jive so well. Like,
It's so
Yeah,
perfect.
It's like it's almost like I feel like it kind of comes down to like when they were making the system, they kind of said, okay, we're gonna have 2 separate sort of mini stat blocks, one for the player, one for like their anima, their
Yep.
power. They said, okay, that's a little bit complicated. The rest of the system needs to be as simplistic as possible so that we can allow that to exist. And I think they jived that flawlessly. Like,
I mean, they the way that it works is you're really only rolling one or the other unless you want to do these combo attacks.
exactly.
And so it works that way where you're never rolling more than 2 die at the same time. And as someone who's played like systems where it is like, oh, you hit with this attack, roll a d8, then add 15. Oh, is this person chaotically aligned? Roll extra 2d6. And like you're doing complex mathematics, like, you know, like a Pathfinder. Like, this was fantastic to just be like, here are my 2 dice. I'm a guardian. That's strength and defense. Both rolls. Just roll it twice. Do your shit. How did I roll 2 times on a d12? What the fuck?
Oh, yo, also, like, talking about like the idea of like dice simplification, I love the idea that you could just buy like 1 set of dice from somewhere and have every dice you need for this game. Like, just 1 set of dice. You have 1d20, 1d10, 1d12, 1d8, 1d4, like 1d6, and like
D20.
you didn't need d20. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're fine for that. And like, I don't know, like, as someone who enjoys systems, like I play a lot of like d10 games where like you like only use d10s, and I love systems like that where like the different kinds of dice you use are often very simplified. And so I like the idea of just like, hey, if you got 1 of every die for this, you're fine. Just as long as you know which one you got to roll when, like, you're fine. I don't know. I really, really enjoy that as a concept.
One thing that just now struck me was I got really flustered in game because, like, statistically and strategically, my character was not functioning. And then I thought back to my character creation, and I was like, that was intentional. I literally did that to myself when I was writing my character. And I got so flustered because I felt like I wasn't, like, performing in game. And I was like, but that's all part of JoJo. And I just completely forgot while I was playing because I was so, like, involved with the system. I was like, I want to do good. Like,
I wanna roll the things.
Yeah, well, and I want to touch on that too, because I feel like when it talks about target numbers for rolling a dice, it goes anywhere between like 4 and like 20. I think is the highest difficulty in theory.
Yep.
And between all of those, like, there are varying amounts of skill difficulty, of wild amounts, to such a degree that you would have to be so specialized into what you were deciding to do that it would be both of your d10s or a d10 and a d12 to even succeed a thing in theory. And what I noticed that I started doing in the middle of the session, trying to get a feel on the game, was like, what are those dice for this thing? And if I were to ever run the game again, I would stop asking for dice ever. Because in narrative, if I say your DC or your target number is 12, and both of the stats I ask you to roll, because that's how the narrative ought to function, are 2d4s, and you cannot succeed that thing, that should be allowed to just progress as it ought to be, you know?
I agree.
Like, you roll and then it happens, and it's like, I failed, and I'm like, yeah, there was no way you could have done that. Not because it's a difficult thing, but because you're not the person for that.
You're not equipped for it. Yeah,
Right.
you're not equipped
I
for it.
did like especially the transparency of the targets. Because, like, talking to the teacher trying to BS something, like, you know that could be really hard, but we also know the teacher. Like, it might be specific checks, which we know, or, like, some, like, would be, like, less known, but I like the transparency because it's a little different, and in most situations it felt realistic that we knew what we were doing, you know.
Yeah, so that's a really cool point as far as tabletop games, and I'm going to diverge from Overarm specifically, but in the amount of tabletop games that I've read and like tabletop etiquette from indie developers and things, it is a really hard habit to get out of for D&D if you're like deep into D&D and talking about that and things, but a lot of indie games want you to present the skill check or the save or like here's what you have to beat even sometimes before the roll is decided to be made. I'm like, here's what you're looking at to accomplish that. You gonna go for it? And then you go for it. But at that point, yeah, everything's very clearly defined based on the narrative, and you know what the number is. Your character then gets to make that decision because in their head, they're like, I don't know how to pick a lock. That's going to be tough. And okay, well, your DC is 17. It's like, am I still going to try to force that lock knowing that I don't know how to pick locks? Or am I going to ask somebody else in my party and cooperate? Like,
there's I usually when I dungeon master, I usually run that as I depended on like what the situation is. If you're in a situation where like it's not very tense, you're like, kind of just looking at a door that's locked and you're like, oh man, could I lockpick this? That's a situation where I'm fine telling you the target number because you have enough time to look at that and know you're not good at that. But if you're running down a hallway from like a bunch of monsters and you encounter a locked door and you like, I'm not going to tell you at that point because you're frazzled. You're not thinking straight. You're just going to think, okay, open the lock right now. Like, because you're not thinking about like how hard it is to do. You're just doing it. So in that moment, even if you can't do it, I wouldn't tell you the target number. I would just have you roll it. Because again, in your character's mind, you're not thinking about, can I do this? You're just frantically attempting it. Absolutely. And so I like that kind of like, it kind of like talks about the idea of like playing on narrative weight, just like what narratively the moment calls for, and like using mechanical things to carry that narrative weight. Like a part of this, again, I feel like us feeling like experienced, I don't know, mirage hunters, whatever our term is, like the fact that at any given time we kind of knew what we were shooting for when it came to things felt like very much we didn't feel like we were new to this. Like this, like, you know, everything from like lying to the teacher to like sneaking around to asking questions to fighting things. It all felt like things we could say like, hey, you know, we've probably done this before. Like we've probably told Mr. Bod some bullshit before. We've probably like talked to somebody, you know, in the middle of a quest before. We've obviously fought some animuses before. So like the fact that it never felt like it was too hard to know what we could or couldn't do made us feel like we were experienced in the thing we were doing, which I think for the purpose of the narrative here worked really well.
Yeah, and I mean, the game accommodates for that and wants to build that in because it is very transparent in everything that it does. But I did want that specifically for the game because I've been tinkering with the top shelf. I deal with a lot of one-shots constantly. And because of that, like, I gotta sort out like how I'm going to make everybody engaged right off the bat, and this one specifically was kind of a different experience in that regard because I wanted you guys to be experienced already. Like this was spring break for a group that already knew each other in such an anime way that like you had already been battling monsters as high schoolers, you know, for a while now. So it's like we're the only four who can take care of this. It's not like we thrust you into it because of circumstance. It's you saw it and went, now we gotta.
Yeah,
and
okay, we should probably deal with this.
Yeah. And it was really cool to see you all interact and be like, all right, here's the plan, here's the game plan. And it's like, yep, boss, you know, let's do this thing. And like, you just broke off and did stuff. And there's a lot to be said about like player GM cohesion to make that a functional thing. But like, I definitely agree that it was a cool thing to bring up. Before we keep talking, I'm just going to bring it up briefly in case anybody in the chat has specific questions. If you want to drop any questions about the game, about what we did or how we played, feel free to throw those in. We are happy to answer as much as we can because I don't want to miss anything if there's anything you're interested in about the system. But yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know. It's weirdly refreshing. Like, I'm very energized.
Really
Yeah, it was really, really fun. I think it was Ash I joked to. I was like, yo, I'd love if I could keep this entire cast and just like bring them over to Neon Lights for like a mini campaign of this. And like, I feel even more about that now. Just like, hey, if I could find a slot where the five of us aren't doing anything.
Can we shrug more?
Listen, if we find a slot for the five of us where we're not doing anything.
This is the
oh shit.
That is a shrug, sir.
I've achieved the maximum
That is a maximum. That is a shrug.
Saito.
I don't.
Jeez, Saito.
Saito, why? Why are you like this? Why, Saito? Why?
Is that 10 bad tables? What is that?
I don't know what that means.
The anima
What
comes
do we-
back.
what do we
The
do?
anima
Does that mean
comes
we have
back.
to play more?
combat.
Is that to
No.
seal in us having to make this a campaign? Because I mean,
we did
Did
get
I
a
just get
question,
bribed?
though.
Is that character art? Is that what that means?
oh my god, it's
Ooh.
character art.
Well, technically,
yes.
it depends. It depends on Mr. Saito wants. He might just
Yeah.
be generous, but we could 100% make that custom art.
Listen. If you
What?
want us to get character art for this, I will scour Twitter tonight. I will
Mr.
find
Saito,
someone
what do you
tonight.
want from us?
Like,
yeah.
I will find someone
Chat
now.
God.
Do have a
Don't play with
question,
me,
though,
alright?
from chat.
Yes,
what
we
was
do.
your favorite part of the system?
Oh, I
Oh,
think
just tipping. Oh,
the
okay.
powers, just the powers, like getting to
Very
have
cool.
all that freedom, like not thinking about a class. Like I mentioned this when I first started playing Cyberpunk Red. Like for Cyberpunk Red, you have your role, which kind of like you're like what you're good at in the world, but it's not at all determining like what your character's abilities per se. It's more focused on like your skills. And so I liked the fact that for this it was very much just like super open, just like, hey, you know, like come up with your own. Like I remember reading that paragraph in the book, just being like, hey, come up with your own power, and then like a page later, there's a sidebar going like, hey GMs, players might go overboard with this, and like just looking at that and going like, okay, so the system wants me to go overboard then, because like you see those two paragraphs back and forth, and you realize like, okay, this is a system that wants me to go as far as I can with this power, even if it's just narrative, like really wants me to try hard with this.
I have a directly related comment too, is that you were talking about role versus power, like abilities and power. I loved the roles because although it felt like at first I felt like I was like, oh, I'm overthinking that we need one of everybody. But when we did that, like having one of everybody, it helped the feeling of an experienced group, I noticed, because we all knew what our role was and what we had to do. And like, especially that we were playing a more experienced group, maybe it could be more chaotic or like newbies if we were all randomly picking. But I filled magician when I was thinking about being a fighter, and I love that I did it because it felt fitting in roleplay. It felt fitting in combat.
Mm-hmm.
And like I didn't expect that at first, but like it was great.
You get a couple of those moments where you're like, oh, Jordan's sad because he keeps failing these things, and Daiki keeps protecting him, and it's like that's very much a trope of the party. Is it's like it's not like you aren't trying, you're just having a bad time, and people are like, nah, dude, keep going.
And that is a
there.
common trope, I'm assuming, throughout all of our combat.
Yeah, well, and classically, it makes you feel like, and I don't know if you were, canonically, it feels like it makes sense, but it definitely has the, like, the rookie of the four. Like, these three have been doing it for a while, and you just recently got that animus connection, and then...
Is this because I'm the white guy? I'm kidding.
God.
I guess I've been talking. I suppose I'll go. I think my favorite part of the system itself is the fact that it does a thing that I didn't get to play with because I didn't clearly outline it. But it is probably my favorite part of the system. It is divided into chunks. And a session functions in a variation of these chunks, which is to say there is social, investigation, combat, and then conclusion, and they are various phases, very similar to how Persona or something would function, where you go from, like, if you've played Persona 5, you know, you go from, you know, we're talking at the coffee shop or whatever, to, like, here's all the dialogue, and now I'm going to go buy all my stuff, and then I'm going to end up in the dungeon. Like, you have very clear outlines as to what portion of the game you are in. I've never currently read a system that it's like, no, block it out for the characters and isolate these things, which is kind of why I implied it with the way that I had the story move forward, but it's not like, this is very clear on, like, your social, here's your role play. Here's just a space where you guys can talk about stuff and work out problems yourselves. Then you get into investigation, which is the role play with all of the checks. And I need to lie to people, or I gotta sneak through stuff, or I need to do these things. And then you end up in combat, which combat can kind of be flavored in wherever it is necessary if you make a bad, you know, check or what have you. But it's something I didn't get to talk about in system because it is kind of a back end thing, but as a GM, I was actually floored by that when I read it, because I'm like, that's actually
Yeah.
like, that expectation means that everybody's engaged in every part of it because they know what they're doing at that time. It's like, I don't know, are we supposed to be role playing around this campfire? Are we just going to bed so we get this mechanical bonus? Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I get a lot of that at certain tables, and this I didn't have to worry about it because I'm like, nah, right now we're talking, then we're gonna go roll some stuff, and now we're getting into the Mirage. Let's fight some things.
Mhm.
And like, everybody got to put themselves in that mindset at each point.
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent to me, and I'm sure Ash, you can speak to this, of like a Monster of the Week, right? Where there's
What I was
different
gonna say.
there's different phases, yeah, where because it's structured. There's something you're basing it off of. I'm Ash can speak to this more because you have more experience with Monster of the Week than I do. But it is kind of you find your medium and you find a system that allows you to parallel that similar structure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
Ash,
turns
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you. I was just gonna hand it off to you.
That's okay. Yeah, it turns it into a very oh gosh, what's the word for it? Like an episodic kind of adventure. You can have an
Yeah.
overarching
Yeah.
kind of thing, but it is very similar to Monster of the Week, where your sessions are blocked out in a very strategic way in order to guarantee that your players know exactly what to expect at every point in the session. You have like the social or like the investigation phase. You know when combat is going to happen. You know exactly at what point in the session that you can expect to prepare for those kind of things. It's really, really nice, as opposed to, I love me some D&D and everything, but it's a very different structure of, you get into a D&D session, you don't really know what's going to happen. It might be a shopping episode. You might have 4 hours of straight combat because there's 1,000 enemies on the field. You don't know what's going to happen. Whereas this, it's like, okay, I know what I need to do in order to prepare myself as a player. And I also think that probably helps for the game master as well. Like, they can prepare episodic stuff fairly easily. Like, be inspired by a bunch of different stuff, have a list of things that you're going to do, and then try and tie that into the bigger story as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
on that,
absolutely.
like, I know I'm an over planner, so I just started DMing my first campaign like a month or two ago, and I try to over plan, but my characters, like my friend group, is just they're bonkers.
No plans about something with the
They had a
party.
very specific plan one session and forgot it by the next session, and did something completely different. I had to improv the whole session.
No plan
Like,
survives contact with the party.
So like I might prefer episodic because I like to plan, but like, the difference there is like very interesting to me because like you can choose a system based on like how you DM and how you DM.
It's why I think overarms would be super good for a mini campaign. So while the book itself does specify you can add the sort of the phases of this game in any order, and like you could go social investigation, social combat investigation, social conclusion if you want to, or you can like mix that around. Even if you didn't do that, even if you just went, you got 6 sessions, like once a week, 6 sessions, and every session is just social into investigation into combat conclusion, and that's it. You can build an entire story arc on that. Just 6 sessions that are like a rising action around some central tension or issue, and like for like a brand new DM, like first, especially because plenty of people get into TTRPGs because they're fans of other nerd things. So like you get to take a kid who's like kind of into anime, and you give him this book and say, oh yeah, like write an adventure for this, and like just think about any anime you like and like how that builds story arcs. It kind of functions in that exact same way. So you could build really simple like set like story arcs for this really, really easily. And I don't know, I like that a lot because like again, it encourages that sort of feel of like we're gathering a D&D party can feel like an endeavor. Like you got to gather players and like figure out character sheets and like come up with like what sex system we're running and all this different like backstory and all that. Because this is so much more just like open, you can kind of just almost gather up your friends and go, all right, guys, we're playing over arms. Like, and it becomes very, it feels very much more like a game that's kind of built to like gather up your folks, sit around a table for a couple hours and just like have a good time. It's not so much about like hard dice rolling or like what specific mechanics are, just like, hey, let's just make a fun anime story real quick for a couple hours every like once a week, And I love that. Like it feels so wholesome, honestly.
It does feel really wholesome. I will admit that like before we started today, I was really intimidated and thought that it was going to be way more complicated than it was, but we got into it and it was just like, it just felt so cozy. Like
exactly, yes. Yes.
It's so
It's a very
nice.
cozy system. That's a great word for it.
Cozy's a
Like
great
when we're
word
done
for
here,
it, yeah.
I'm just gonna go play more Persona because like I want to continue this vibe so much.
Yeah. Will we be posting our character descriptions anywhere? I feel like
You know
we
what?
should, low key.
If you want to, I'm sure we could talk to Cole about dropping all of our characters.
do a
and your
Twitter
guys'
thread or
connection
something?
And stuff.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
a Twitter thread.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Patreon or
we'll
something.
manage it. We'll make it work.
Honestly,
Follow
I
us
will
on the
say,
TPK Roleplay Twitter, by the way. Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Or our personal accounts,
Like,
whatever.
the degree to which the system lets you like build a character with your powers as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It scratches that part of my brain, which is just like where anime writers are fucking geniuses, and they're just like, we're gonna tie everything into a character concept. Like, it just felt very good to like have that
Yeah,
ability.
Turk like anime analyzing my powers for me, like in the middle of
Dude,
the game.
you built it. It was wonderful. And it was just like, look, I'm the type of dude who watches the video breaking down like anime characters' names and why they fit. Like,
Yeah.
So
my
good.
characters, like I literally looked up the kanji to create my character's name for shining stable rock. Like,
That's a lot
I
of
don't know.
thought.
It's a lot of thought, but it works because he takes on damage and can fix other people's stuff, and he's like, it allowed me to build a character with a lot more depth than I initially really expected.
Yeah.
Because I was ready to just build a punch ghost, but like I was like, damn, I can really do anything with this. I don't have to be like the 5-finger death punch, like, oh, I can attack 5 people
Similarly,
at once.
when I first got the book, I was thinking like very like I don't even remember what my initial idea was, but it was very, very simplistic. Just like something about like involving like I think something about like foxfire. Very, very simplistic. It's like simple concept of like involving like firepower. And then like I started reading more into it. And I'm like, no. I want to really have some fun with this. And like that's kind of where I think it was like the day after JK was like, hey, you guys want like post your power ideas, you should post them. And I was like, all right, well, guess I'll take the plunge on this then. And so we started talking more about like our anime ideas, and like as we start, like I said, I was sitting chat with like Turk too, and like talking about like, yeah, I'm thinking of this, but I'm not sure yet. And so like just like really getting to like have fun like writing an anime character, honestly. Just like really, really getting to like really play around with like what your power is and does is really, really fun. I don't know, I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if oh, sorry.
Oh no, please go ahead.
I don't know if I got to it a lot in game because I got a little over involved in the system, but like in my backstory, I made a lot of like character conflict and like a lot of things I didn't plan on sharing at the moment, if not ever. And
yeah, I can't
from this game, I've like my brain went from like tunneling on this game and like how it works in session to like as soon as we ended, I was like, but what if? And now I'm thinking of character growth and like does personal growth equal anima growth? Like could my anima visually change? Because I'm like thinking that through, and I'm like, because my character's in conflict with his anima, maybe ? I don't know. And I'm like, when he's not, would it appear different? So
yeah, I 100% like the idea of anima. Like the way the anima powers are meant to grow is you start with the baseline and you build off of it, right? And that to me is so intrinsically linked, not just to the persona, but like I'm more experienced with the JoJo side of things. But like, when a character builds like gets a new ability or like realizes a new potential, it's always linked to character growth. So like I can speak to my own thing. It's not just about like taking on the wounds and like taking on that damage for other people, but like also he can fix it for everyone else. Like everyone else is going to be fine. He's just going to take the hit. And like there's a degree of like self-martyrism, like if we really want to dive into character
I hadn't even thought of like a narrative reason for my second power. Turk, you did that for me. Like I just like, again, my second power happened like right before session happened, and then I think I used my second power in the middle of the game, and Turk just posts in the group chat just like, oh yeah, because the world passes him over. And I'm like, Turk, why are you overanalyzing my character for
because
me?
It's necessary.
And I was like, wait, no, you're right. That's exactly what I was going for, kind of there. Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's perfect.
Yeah, this was so much fun. I don't know. There's like, I really want to, and maybe it was like a concept of like the characters we built and the way they interacted and like the world we kind of like placed ourselves in. But like, I really want to see more of these characters interacting. Like, I want to see growth from them specifically. Like, I built
myself a growth arc in a one-shot. Why did I do this to myself?
Welcome to my fucking world, dude. Like, hey, I mean, it's only a one-shot for now. We'll talk.
Oh yeah, no, for real.
No,
Sorry,
legit. We'll
boss
talk.
boss
I'm so
man.
serious, guys. We'll talk. I mean it. I mean it. I mean it.
You already messaged me like 3 days ago. We hadn't even played yet, and you're like,
Literally, just like, hey, by the way, if you want to,
I'm like,
yeah, literally before we played, just like, hey, if you want to make the campaign, by the way, we'll talk. Just like before we even played the game.
So we're getting close to wrapping here because I like to keep these pretty tight to 10. But on everybody's point about the system powers and the way that like personas. Oh, there it is. I knew I was gonna say it once.
Heck, darn shoot.
The anima in the game evolving as far as their powers getting better. It comes into the system where it's like the first power you build, you're just like, yeah, we don't care, just build a power. And there are notes in the book that talk about specializing the next 2 or 3 powers that you get, and it's like they become basically derivatives of this first power, and they become more specific and more evolved as they go, which very much reflects the idea that you have all had this whole game, where it's like, no, this is a game designed, even in the arbitrarily simple mechanics, to encourage character growth and building in that regard. And it's super cool, because so much of this is so subtle, but it's so I had a great time, and I'm really glad y'all had a great time. And if it ends up being a thing, it very well might be a thing. But we're gonna go ahead and round things out and get ready to wrap. I will keep you posted, but I am potentially trying to schedule a conversation with Rookie Jet Studios this week about the system, so that'll be fun. We're going to start back up at the top right-hand corner. We'll go clockwise, ending with myself. But, Daiki, take us away.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Turk, or Turk Accented on Twitch and Twitter. Pardon me while I pull up the schedule really quick to remind myself. But tonight, I was playing Daiki Hiroike, the Shining Stable Ground, with the anima Achilles coming on down. Your big old tank boy. But it was so much fun. I admittedly do really want to play more of this. But if you want to see more of this face and all of the wonderful things that TBK does that I'm involved with, then of course, please keep it locked here because Sunday we'll be breaking down anything and everything amazing that happens at TBK. Of course, with Total Party Recap with Sir Heck and Kohlrabi, our wonderful boss, who I am, of course, contractually obligated to say is a wonderful person, but I will say it out of duty anyway. Beyond that, of course, I am on Dark Echoes on the 10th, as well as Harper Investigations on the 13th. And then on the 16th, I should give a special mention to Rutro, a Scooby-Doo mystery where I will be playing the eponymous Scooby-Doo. Should be a lot of fun. As we play Monsters of the Week in a Scooby-Doo setting. And then on the 25th, we have Swift and Vicious one shot based with Ashton Rabbit here, where we'll be doing a Fast and Furious with a really fun cast and system. I should also mention on the 24th will be the Bard's Refrain, which is of course our monthly one shot full of all of the wonderful dramatization moments. But I have talked for entirely too long, and counterclockwise.
Clockwise.
Foxy.
Cool. What's up, guys? It's Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, aka your favorite fox. I'm usually around on the internet if I'm not hanging out on TPK or dunking on people on Twitter. You can catch me on the account that I'm in chat right now, Neon Lights Roleplay. We play a bunch of different TTRPGs. We have a Cyberpunk Red campaign going, which I'm playing in, a D&D campaign, which I am running, coming up soon, an Only War campaign, which I am running and Turk is in.
Wasn't sure if it was a secret or not.
Nah, it's fine. They know now. They know now. Yeah, they know now. Yeah, we're doing that. We got one shots coming. My friend Michelle's gonna run a one shot on the 14th. It's gonna be her first time DMing on stream, so you guys all have to be there in chat, or I'm gonna fight you. So do that. We're gonna hopefully make some other cool stuff happen. Maybe even some of this. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff happening in the world coming over there. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Twitter at Young Foxy. That's YUNG_FOXXII. I don't go right wingers a lot and talk shit a lot. I actually recently had a guy who said some really, really dumb racist stuff, and I like blasted him all over the internet for like everyone to see, and it was it was very good. So if you want to see more of that, come follow me on Twitter. And that's all I really got. I think that makes Ash next, right?
It does indeed.
Yeah. Hey, that's me. I'm Ash. I go by Ash and Rabbit here on Twitch and over on Twitter. Today I played Risako Kimura, who had the anima of Rosebud, the cool 1920s black and white spy. Super dope. Oh man, that was so much fun.
I loved it.
It was so good. As far as what you can find me in next, I'm usually in a Sunday campaign over on Nat 20. It's a post-Curse of Strahd, now completely homebrew thing. Super cool, but tomorrow's Easter, so we're taking the day off. So come back the next Sunday to check that out. It's very good. I think I'll be here on Monday for proper parlor games. We're going to be playing Codenames and Spyfall with the Coven from the Honey Heist crew as our characters from Honey Heist, and I'm very excited. It's going to be really cool. I do a bunch of other stuff over on Nat 20. I will also be here on, what is it, the 25th for Swift and Vicious, the Fast and Furious one-shot run by Osir X Franco. It's going to be super cool, super family, cars, drama, really neat. Check that out. Yeah, cars and drama. That's it for me. Hyacinth, it's up to you.
Hi guys, I'm Hyacinth. Yeah, so Hyacinth on the Discord, Hyacinth is on Twitch, and I will be Andersynth on Twitter. Sorry, it's weird. It's really hard to get common names on everything.
I feel it.
And I played Jordan, aka Jojo, aka Jordan Joseph, our shy jock who will not admit to being friends with all these people because he's really awkward and shy about it. But his anima was Leah, the huntress, who is kind of like a female personification of Leo, the zodiac sign. And so she, there's a lot of conflict there, a lot of like, she's kind and warm and he's, shy and cut off, but his only friends are weights. And sorry, I can't take myself seriously. I will be here on TPK this upcoming Thursday for the Tyranny of Dragons Queen's Gambit campaign. I'll be playing Icarus. He's more chaotic. Sorry. And then the following Monday, I will be on Sherlock Investigations as Dr. Alabaster Grace, and yes, and then following that Wednesday, I will be back for my superhero campaign, Mutants and Masterminds Singularity game. So I will be playing a superhero in that. So my Wednesdays and Thursdays are occurring, so come see me play some more games.
Now, these guys all do spectacular stuff, and I host the show, so I have to be self-centered enough to go last. No, but I am your host, Mads, or JK Madigan on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, I think even TikTok. I have a couple D&D videos on TikTok.
Excuse me.
I'm not proud of them, but they're not bad.
But I'll be right there.
I'm finding you right now.
Yeah, my biggest one has like 15,000 views, so it was good.
That's not bad.
What is that face for? Like, it was a passing thing. I got viral for like 12 seconds, and then it went away.
That's usually how it happens.
I feel like most of the TikToks I've seen don't have that many views.
Good lord, I've just derailed myself by like my ADHD just throwing out information.
Masterwork, well done.
Right. No, so I am the host of the Top Shelf. This is the vast majority of my stuff. I run these every other Saturday. And then I also do straight to YouTube episodes in which usually it's an interview with a developer. I have a couple other things in the works that I'm interested in, but those won't be for a while, so keep an eye out for those. But it's all top shelf related things. I have such a love for tabletop RPGs and all of their various forms and kind of the art of their construction. Coming up, though, in April, I actually have 3 episodes as opposed to every other week. I've got this one, and then next week I am running for episode 9, 17th Century Minimalist, which is, we took the 5th edition rules, we made it a rules light system. That's going to be weird to play. We made it a 5th edition rules light system and set it in low fantasy Revolution era Europe. It's going to be fucking great. I'm very excited for it. It's a killer system. Episode 10, we're finally getting back to Blackchapel. one of the first episodes that I ever ran for TPK back last year was part 1 of this, and we're playing part 2 on the top shelf because we're gonna pit Slayers by Spencer Campbell up against D&D, as it has been called the D&D killer. I want to see how true that is, being thematically similar as they are. It's going to be a good time. We've also got some other changes to the top shelf coming up in May. We got a cool Kickstarter event that's coming up in the middle of May, promoting a necropunk system, which is going to be super fucking cool. Keep an eye out for all of it. I'm so pleased with the system. I'm so pleased with today. I'm on the like theater hype thing right now where I'm just wired. So I'm gonna let everybody go. Thanks so much for playing. Thanks so much for watching. We will talk to y'all later and see you around. But we are out for the night.
Goodbye, Jojo.
Howdy.